hold up for me today. I also am going to need you guys to let me know if you guys drop in and you're able to hear me. Got a new microphone. Super excited about that. But it's my birthday. Not going to have any music playing this time. Don't feel like going through that. I'm also not going to be streaming for an excessively long amount of time today, although we will see. But as for now, it's my birthday. And I got my silver play button up here from YouTube. So I'm very excited about that. So if anybody gets the chance to drop in, I know it's Sunday, so it's a lot to ask of you guys to come through. But before I have to go and go do family stuff, go do birthday stuff, I just want to have some fun, talk about fragrances, and just kind of talk about life and the journey to get here and everything along those lines. So good morning, Medi. Welcome here, my friend. Yeah, definitely, like I said, if you haven't heard yet, just hanging out, doing a little birthday talk. Got my silver play button up here. I'm super proud of. This is definitely not where it's going to. You are first. Super happy for you to be here, buddy. How you doing, Sarthak? Good morning. I think I saw you comment on something of mine earlier, and I was going to tell you that I was doing a live stream just for a little while. Not going to be super duper long today, but it's my birthday. Got my silver play button here that a lot of you guys have seen. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. What's up, Farrell? Good morning, my friend out there in Australia. So celebrate. But yeah, I dropped my wife off. Did I hear you say Brita? Yes, it is. It's my birthday today. So thank you again, you guys, for congratulating. Thank you for being here. And also, thank you for the play button. No, sorry, not thank you for the play button. Technically, I guess I could say that because any of you guys who've been watching are part of me getting my play button. But yeah, like I said, before I go hang out at the mall today and be an old man, because I think I'm a millennial. I'm 32, so I think that's what I am. I'm not really sure. By the way, real quick, just asking. I got a new microphone, so letting you know, just asking, can you guys hear me pretty okay? To anybody who's watching, if y'all get a chance, let me know if this new microphone sounds okay. The other ones that I had, they hooked in a weird way instead of being able to hook them just straight up and down. But yeah, trying out new stuff. Little by little, investing more and more in the channel, trying to help it go. I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi is kind of slow today. Forgive me for minor typo. That's okay, Sarthak. Listen, I barely ever spell stuff right. I use talk to text when I do like statuses on Facebook and all that crap. So like the largest portion of the time, the stuff that I actually post, I go back and read it later and I'm like, uh-oh, almost none of this was what it was supposed to be. But yeah, definitely if you guys can let me know if this microphone sounds okay, if you guys can hear me or whatever, because like I said, these microphones are a little bit better, at least they're supposed to be better than the ones that I was using before. They definitely costed more. So hopefully I didn't waste my money. But either way, when you do these YouTube channel things, you kind of want to invest in yourself as you grow. I am been really enjoying doing these live streams and talking to you guys, not just because I've been getting to know you guys better as things have been going on, but also I didn't know before because I never did live streams, and I didn't notice a lot of other fragrance channels do these live streams. Like on TikTok they do, but on YouTube. Happy birthday. I really hope you have a fantastic day and you treat yourself. So I am. Do you have Tom Ford ombre leather? Real quick, I'm going to say thank you so much to my buddy for saying happy birthday. I really appreciate you guys so much. Also, yes, to Kins, KHNS, you asked if I got Tom Ford ombre leather. I like the eau de parfum, but I much prefer the parfum version. This is actually in like my top 10 favorite fragrances of all time. So if you have a question, by the way, I got plenty more fragrances over here too, if you can see. How's the fragrance? So first of all, just letting everybody know who drops through. I'm going to be talking about this here in a minute because this is like really making me go cuckoo puffs today. But how is the fragrance for Tom Ford ombre leather? Ombre leather. It's amazing. I have Tuscan leather by Tom Ford. Pretty good fragrance, but a little bit too outdated. This one is one of my favorites in the entire universe because it's just like a very nice, robust leather and sandalwood type of fragrance. Also, whether you get the eau de parfum or the parfum version, they have fantastic longevity. They stay very linear. So basically, when you spray this on, compared to a lot of certain types of fragrances like Amouage's Interlude, who kind of change a little bit over time, if you get something like ombre leather, you can kind of go ahead and assume that it's going to smell about the same with that strong leather sandalwood all the way through. but it's perfect because it's such a nice, unique leather scent. It doesn't smell cheap. It doesn't smell bad. So what you get out of it's what you get, and it lasts very long. I'd say you get a nice 8 to 10 hours, depending on the person on skin. Which fragrance should I use? People can ask which perfume I wear for summer and winter. Well, that's a tough one. First of all, again, anybody who says happy birthday, thank you to all my buddies out there for watching. I appreciate you guys so very much. I'm going to ask again because nobody's told me so far before I answer my buddy here if my new microphone sounds okay, if it sounds crappy. Again, I'm in a closed off space trying to get better with the sound and stuff as I do these live streams. I'm honestly going to start streaming way more than I even do like regular postings. And I'm going to keep doing my weekly reviews and my daily fragrance of the days. So if you guys check out my channel, if you haven't watched me before and you subscribe, please, every day I do a fragrance of the day as a short. And then every week I do one long video about a specific fragrance doing a real review. And then every week I do these right here. Now it's time for golden play button. I really hope I get there, but it's going to take a very long time because to get your silver play button, you got to hit 100,000 subscribers. To get your golden play button, it's extreme. It takes a lot. You go from, my wife thought when I first started gaining subscribers, she was like, did you get a 50,000? Do you get a thing? I was like, I really wish you did, but you don't. By the way, what's up, 08 Fragrances? Good morning, my friend. Thank you. Everybody's welcome here again, celebrating my silver play button and also celebrating that it is my birthday. So, yes. But again, talking about fragrances for a while and everything. To answer my buddy, though, who asked about which fragrances, that's a tough one because, again, it depends how much money you want to spend. And it also, thank you for saying happy birthday, my buddy here. Thank you so much. But yeah, as far as like suggesting fragrances to people, that's always hard because it depends on how much you've got to spend and how much you're willing to invest into it. So like, obviously people have been seeing Vanilla Dunes get talked about a lot. You guys are going to see me continue to suggest cheaper fragrances very often because I want to recommend things to people for a good price range. But to be completely honest with you, I don't really like wearing cheaper fragrances. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to be a douche or tell you guys to spend a lot of money, but I really love perfumery deeply, and I love fragrances that stick to you very well. I love fragrances that are unique and made very well. So to give you an example of what I mean, they did an incredible job with this Vanilla Dunes Liquid Brune. This is a take on, obviously, Althea by Parfums de Marly, which is a very nice take on a vanilla pod, orange blossom type of scent. Fairly unique. But for the most part, you got a lot of other fragrances out there like this one, which is Fakhar, I believe is how you say it, by Lattafa. This one is incredible. It's perfectly well done in place of, I have Percival by Parfums de Marly back here. But even Percival itself is not like the most unique fragrance in the entire universe. So I like more unique fragrances, personally, things that are a little bit more rich and distinct. So that's why I will show you guys a lot of cheap fragrances, just letting this be known. But I'm not going to tell you that it's best to just get them. So for people who can't afford or don't want to save the money and have the patience to get a more expensive fragrance, dupes and cheaper fragrances are great. And there's a lot of cheaper ones that are fantastic. But by and large, I really want to encourage you guys, if you can, to save the money to get yourself something a little bit more nice and up there. And you asked my buddy Tyler French, good morning, my friend. I'm going to try to stick with the questions as I do this stream. Vanilla Dunes better than Liquid Brune. I prefer Liquid Brune because, personally, this is just me, I think that Liquid Brune I like sweetness. I really like sweetness in fragrances. So first of all, I think that it has a little bit more density. I like that if you're in the mood for a little bit more brightness and floral type of feel, there's a white musk floral type of feel going on with with Vanilla Dunes that they both perform extremely well. I think this one's more dense and more sweet for a longer period of time. And it's also cheaper, to be honest with you. I like the bottle more for Vanilla Dunes, but I overall prefer Liquid Brune. But they're both fantastic things to have in your collection. Just letting it be known. But again, to my buddy who asked about what fragrances, Islands by Hadlage, Vanilla Dunes, by Hadlage, if you're going to go for cheap, if you can spring for something a little bit more expensive, I'm always going to suggest to people putting Naxos into your mix because it's still to this day up there as one of my #1 favorite fragrances. Nothing wrong with being a dupe layer. Don't you think Lattafa Fakhar replicates? To be honest with you, Sarthak, not to me, because even though I like YSL fragrances, when I smell this, if you ever get the chance to smell Percival by Parfums de Marly, this is very, very close to that, to be honest with you. It has a lot of that kind of vibe to it. I just got Fakar in yesterday. And also I have, how do you say this? Fakar, I actually don't know how. I got this version and I got this one as well. And they're all pretty good. But I got to say, me and my wife think this is our favorite of the whole entire bunch. But good morning to everybody out there. Thank you guys so much for being here. Have you tried Polo 67? I have not. I've not tried it. I've tried a lot of the Polo fragrances. I think they're pretty decent. If you get a Polo fragrance, some of them have an eau de parfum version. Please go for that. Picking up Le Beau Eau de Toilette. By the way, again, thank you to everybody who's saying happy birthday. I appreciate that so much. So as far as Le Beau Eau de Toilette, I prefer Le Parfum. It's a little bit more expensive. Like, I like to tell people, if you're going to go for that range, nothing wrong with the Eau de Toilette. It smells fantastic, but Le Beau is such a nice, rich fragrance. I like the way that the Le Parfum version, I have it back here. Then I've also got its copy, which is Hadlaj Island. So as well, a very great performer. I just like the density that you get out of it and the overall longevity and performance. How's the weather in your area? Which fragrance would you go with these days? So thank you, Sarthak, for asking. Where I'm at right now, it is actually very rainy. Today, ironically, on my birthday, yesterday was pretty okay weather, but where I'm at right now, it's very stormy, very rainy, and it's supposed to be like this pretty much the entire day. For me, honestly, on a day like today, I would go with either Grand Soir by Maison Francis Kurkdjian, or obviously one of my absolute favorite fragrances because it's earthy. It almost has, I don't know if you guys know what petrichor is, but I don't like it in and of itself as a concept. Petrichor is a scent profile that represents like wet dirt and like wet mulch and stuff like that after a rain. Well, a feel of that, almost in a oudi type of way, goes along with this. And so this is my type of thing, the Oud Silk Mood. But its brother, Oud Satin Mood, has a couple of dupes. They don't have any Oud Silk Mood dupes that I've seen, but I wanted to try a few things that are in that similar DNA. This one obviously copied the bottle style. I love this one, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but I love its color. This is Ministry of Oud Satin Extrait de Parfum. This was like, I think $20, and this as well was like $20, something like that. This is Barakat Satin Oud by, I don't know, Fragrance World? I believe that's who made both of these, but I got these in the other day, and this is like insane, bro. It's raining where I'm at too. Well, Tyler French, I hope that you're doing good today. I hope you enjoy your rainy day. I'm not sure if you guys like rainy days or not. But yeah, honestly, these kind of vibes, like a rosy oud fragrance, not like a fecal oud, but something that's a little bit more soft on a rainy day like today. I like those powerful, beautiful rose oud scents. And this really did a good take. I don't remember. I've smelled Oud Satin Mood, but I haven't smelled it in a while. And so this is supposed to be a take on that, whereas I prefer Oud Silk Mood. I know when I originally smelled them both, Oud Silk Mood spoke to me way more as more of a bright, rich, rosy scent than Oud Satin Mood. It's a different type of take altogether. So if you're going to get an MFK and you're thinking about that family, I think Oud Silk Mood is a better fragrance. But the dupe versions that they have of it, this one smells very close to Oud Satin Mood as it is. But this bad boy right here, if you're thinking about getting a cheaper fragrance and you want something very powerful, interesting, again, thank you so much, Andrew Breen, for being here. Always happy to see you guys. What's the plan today for your birthday, Sarthak? To be honest with you, because it's going to be kind of rainy, other than me, like I thought, you know what? I got my silver play button. I'll do a little stream, hang out with you guys for a little while this morning. Not too long, because I don't want to kill my battery life because I got an hour drive to do. I'm going to meet with my mom. I don't know what it is. Like, I like going to the malls. Well, obviously, as you can see, I love fragrances. So I like going and smelling things. Although, being realistic, between Saks, Nordstrom, Sephora, Ulta, I pretty much smelled most of everything they've got to smell. I got 2 samples that I'm going to be talking about soon. I don't remember how to say it. I think it's Christian Louboutin or Louboutin, something like that. A brand I hadn't really seen anything from before, but the other day while we were at the mall, I went through and my buddy Delaney, who works over there, is like the manager over the Joe Malone section. Really awesome guy. Not going to dox him or like say exactly what mall I go to, but I just know that we're here. Just let you know I'm here in North Carolina. But he's very knowledgeable about layering fragrances, and as well about just talking about fragrances because he works with them every day, like actual perfumery. And when I go there, I like to sample certain things. And Christian Louboutin, he has this, there's a new fragrance that's coming out, or it's already out. It's pretty expensive, but it's called La Rose. it has to be one of my most favorite rose fragrance I've ever smelled in my entire life. It's like a rich, plummy type of rose. It's hard to explain exactly what it makes me think of because it's its own thing, but it's also like $250 for a 2.7 mil, just like these Maison Francis Kirk Johnson. So I got him to make me a little sample, and I'm going to talk about that and review that soon. But just throwing it out there, if you guys get the chance to go to your nearest Nordstrom, check out the Christian Louboutin fragrances. They have an incredible line if you get the chance. I always encourage you guys to avoid blind buying if you can help it, and go actually give a whiff to things that you can. Because even though I got a lot of these fragrances here that I do reviews for, again, you have to realize I'm a content creator. So even though I still myself, most of the time before I buy something, even to consider reviewing things, I like to go and smell things before I actually hit that confirmation on like a buy. But for you guys who are watching reviewers like me, I still just want to take the time to encourage you, please, don't just buy things like I do. A lot of you guys are not content creators, so go give them a smell first. Plus, it's fun. I like to think. The only thing that I don't like about going and trying fragrances, I don't like the feeling that there's certain stores, there's a person there who kind of looks at you a little shifty, like, you gonna buy something or what? I also know, not trying to be funny, but I carry a fanny pack around. I got bowel problems. I got IBS. I use the bathroom a lot. I keep wipies in my baggie. So having my little fanny pack with me, I always try to put it on my back when I go into these stores so they don't think I'm crazy. But in reality, they still always watch me like a hawk while I'm walking around smelling stuff. Let me see. I'm going to look through here. But yeah, my plans for the birthday, basically, while my wife is at work, unfortunately, she had to work today. But we had a great day yesterday. A lot of beautiful life experiences. She was being with me and supporting me as I was dealing with, again, my grandma is in hospice. So if you guys don't know what that means, if you're from other countries, if it's not the same there, hospice in America means that if your parent, grandparent, or whoever, that means that they have an illness and they're not going to heal from it most likely, so they're going to pass away. So hospice is where they move them to a comfortable place. My grandma's been moved to my aunt's house, and she's going to slowly just be watched over. She hasn't been able to eat in over a week. So my grandma's going to pass away soon. So yesterday, day before my birthday, me and my wife just had a nice enough day, and she was there with me. And as always, I love my wife with all my heart. She's my best friend in the world, and encourages me to do all these things. As you can see, we don't make any, like any marriage should do, we don't make decisions apart when it comes to like financial stuff. And when we sold our house, I was very gracious of my wife with like some of, like, as you can see, not just some, but like a chunk of that money that we got. My wife was very gracious to let me, take a chance and get a lot of fragrances and stuff so I can chase after this dream that I had back when I had my original little collection and I started this. So definitely appreciate my wife. Just had to throw that out there. Because again, I wouldn't have this silver play button if it wasn't for her encouraging me. Like, I thought, I liked watching reviewers, but I didn't always trust. Real quick, let me answer some stuff you guys are saying here. Wish I was there physically. Hey, I Sarthak, I wish you were here too, buddy. I wish you were here and we could hang out. I'd love Andrew Breen, all you guys. F. Torre, or hopefully I said that right. Thank you for saying happy birthday. Thank you for your wishes and stuff like that. That YSL Blue Electric clone of Iconic Nui, I don't like as much as the cardamom. So actually, recommendations for a strong cardamom heavy fragrance. That's a really good question. And this one's going to be like a quick, easy, this one's going to be a quick, easy answer for me. If anybody ever has questions about a good cardamom fragrance, honest to God, dude, I still recommend Sauvage Elixir. I don't care what anybody says. If you see any YouTubers or creators who say that Sauvage Elixir has gone overrated, they're full of crap. I'm not trying to throw any like serious shade towards this specific person, but people are always talking about Sauvage Elixir like it's played out. Dude, if something's classic, if something's still good and you guys like it, wear it. Don't let anybody's opinions like overall stop you from wearing something. Not saying that you are, but there's a lot of people out there who try to say that Sauvage Elixir or any of Sauvage lines or like Dior Homme Intense all that stuff is like played out. It isn't. You want to know what happens when something becomes overrated and everybody's wearing it? In quotations, or everybody used to wear it. That means that nobody's wearing it anymore. So if something like Sauvage Elixir became played out, but I will say, just real quick to my buddy who asked, I did an in-depth comparison of this against its original Gisada Ambassador. This is Gisada Ambassador Intense. So if you want a good cardamom heavy fragrance, Dior Sauvage Elixir is perfect for that, but this is like a fraction of the price. So I think you can get this for roughly $80. The man, the myth. Hey, I sure am live. I'm gonna try to. Which fragrances are good for beginners? I'll get right back to that. Sarthak, thank you so much for. You're absolutely right. It is God's blessing for her to be able to be a part of this with me for the last birthday and everything. So, not my last birthday, but again, for anybody who's jumping in, my grandma is on hospice. She's gonna be passing away soon, but that's it is what it is. I believe that things are going to go okay. She said she had a great life. So I'm just kind of celebrating this birthday and trying to be positive. So that's why I'm here with you guys, and I appreciate y'all. And real quick to Legend Cree, thoughts on Louis Vuitton Imagination. Not the biggest fan in the entire universe. To be honest with you, I think it's a good scent. I think that Louis Vuitton makes very fantastic fragrance profiles, but I don't think that they're worth their money. Louis Vuitton fragrances cost an awful lot that to me, they don't perform the way I would like them to out of a fragrance. It's kind of like this guy right here. Well, hold on. Before I say that, I'm going to try to keep up with you guys' comments. So my buddy asked, what's a good fragrance for beginners? To be real with you, Versace Eros. Get the Eau de Parfum, EDP, or get the Parfum. Don't get the Eau de Toilette. It smells okay. But if you're a beginner, but you'd like to go ahead and kind of jump up a notch and like standing out, get Versace Eros Parfum or Eau de Parfum, or get yourself Versace Eros Energy, Dolce and Gabbana Light Blue Intense. There's a handful of fragrances if you're going to spend a little bit decent money. Or honestly, something like this, Hod Lodge Island. If you're a beginner and you're getting into fragrances, this is a take on a very expensive fragrance, or Liquid Brune. I'll show you that bottle. So if you're a beginner in the fragrance world, I just recommend don't spend too much money, but there's some fantastic fragrances that can help you stand out and last very well. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Jude's Fragrances, for watching. Like, I'm going to continue to do lives as much as I can today. Like, I got my silver play button. It's my birthday. I'm just celebrating everything. I had this shipped to my brother-in-law's house. And here's what's really sad. Just throwing this out there for you guys. I don't know if you can see. I don't want to take it off the shelf because it took me a minute to get it done well. I'm not going to freak out. I don't even really care all that much. I'm just grateful to have it. But if you guys can see, during the shipping process, this got damaged. This actually got damaged during the whole getting it to my brother-in-law's house process. I don't know how and when and where. I'm not going to argue with UPS about it because I've been through some stuff with them before. That's why I don't usually use UPS for anything. But I was pretty upset, to be honest with you, that my silver play button, the one and only one I've got, has some bending and like literal perforations and destructions on it. But whatever, it's my silver play button, so I'm grateful for it. Let's see. You seem honest. You have a new subscriber, and I'm glad I stumbled on. Well, F. Torre, I'm so grateful. First of all, Sarthak, you don't need to apologize whatsoever for any misspellings. That's totally okay. Could you show us French Avenue Vulcan? I sure will. I'll talk about that here in just a second. That's what I was about to get doing. So thank you, Jude, for asking. F. Torre, thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Like I said, I'm always going to keep it real with you guys. Like, literally just like being a YouTuber, you get ups and downs. So I just started this past year, had an explosion of random subscribers. People who, be real with you, I wouldn't even care if I had 20,000 subscribers anymore at this point, because it's not, when you get a lot of subscribers because of like one or two good videos, doesn't mean everybody's going to keep watching. And to be honest with you, I got like 100K subscribers, but most of them don't even watch my videos because they got too much going on. They're not consistent. There's a lot of people out there who just subscribe to channels just to do it and then don't even keep up with their subscription fee because they've got like thousands of subscribers. So in reality, just having you guys who come to these lives with me and talk, that's like why I love doing this now. I like doing these live streams. I never used to do this until weeks ago when I tried it. I like doing these lives with you guys and talking to you about life and fragrances more than I like doing almost anything else that has to do with this now, except for smelling fragrances. So thank you guys just for even being here. And I love you guys truly. Like, God bless y'all. And I appreciate y'all for being with me and talking with me. Where I live, there's a company who makes copies of perfumes for much cheaper. I would recommend that. To be completely honest with you, if you are wanting to try a Louis Vuitton oriented fragrance, if you don't live anywhere, like again, I'll always say, go smell a fragrance if you can in actual stores. But if you don't have, if like Louis Vuittons or something like that, like for instance, I recently just found out, compared to like 4 or 5 other stores I usually go sample fragrances at, none of them have Initio fragrances. Now behind here, I've got 4 Initio fragrances myself, But to review them, I blind bought those for the sake of doing reviews. I didn't know there was a store I could go sample them at. And I just stumbled upon Saks Fifth Avenue at a completely different location the other day, and they have all the Initio fragrances. So if you don't live somewhere where you can sample stuff, and you do your research in the local area, like Louis Vuitton, if you can't go sample them, then I don't recommend blind buying them at all. Save your money if you can try to get like the best quality clones you can find. I'm gonna be real with you guys up front. Hold on, let me see. I'm wearing my sample of Liquid Brune, and it's not projecting at all. I'm really surprised. That's crazy, Paul. Like, you know what? Sometimes whether or not we can trust where fragrances came from, is it the real thing, or as well, I don't know what it. People talk about fragrance needing to macerate, but in reality, some of these companies, it happens with expensive fragrances. It also happens with cheaper fragrances. Sometimes you can't trust the quality checking, the QA, quality control of the factory that produces them. Because what happens with perfumery is that, like, let's just say like this right here, okay? Maison Francis Kurkdjian is a very well-known perfumer. He's made a lot of fragrances in the perfume world, just like Quentin Biche. And at the end of the day, these guys create the formulations. They put either no care at all, or like these guys, they put a lot of care and love into the fragrances, the perfumery that they make. They are chemists. They are trained professionals. But after they've made the original formulation, it's been written out, it has been tested and everything, then it gets produced, mass produced by factories, just put through a system. Kind of like I used to work for Morinaga, which is a Japanese company who creates Haichu candy, and they create a lot of other candies. And so there's somebody who created the original formulations, but then me and a handful of other guys get on our machines, and then we create the candies themselves. We add the flavors, all that stuff. So when I worked for Morinaga, it's the same concept as somebody working for Estee Lauder or any one of those companies who specify in Tom Ford, Parfums de Marly, whatever. And so there might be a perfumer behind the original formulation of a fragrance, but then they start getting mass produced. Once that happens, you can't really try. It's like humans make errors, and also people can get in a rush, get lazy. And so anytime you go buy a fragrance, expensive or cheap, I can assure you there's never an absolute guarantee that even if it should have been a good performer or whatever, or even the smell to it can sometimes be a little bit off, not just from reformulations, but also the people even at the factory who made it. You never know. They might have not had a person who's very trustworthy, quality checking everything. So with stuff like Liquid Brune, a much cheaper fragrance, to be honest with you, you have no idea if everything's perfectly quality tested. I can say this. After all that long rant that I just went on, I'm sorry, I talk about these things. I'm very passionate about them. As you can see, perfumery is very special to me. I tried on my own because I don't live anywhere near an actual university where I live near excellent universities for chemistry, but I'm not very good at math. So I've been trying to restudy. I wanted to potentially go to school so I can study perfumery, but I don't live anywhere near a place where I can actually do that professionally. The best schools are in places like Paris and so forth. And obviously me and my wife like own a home and we're paying for it. So I can't just relocate to do that. So I'm probably never actually going to become a professional perfumer or anything, but fragrances mean the world to me. So I study the best I can on my own with the best like textbooks and materials and like online things you can do. So when I talk to you about this stuff, you guys, I'm no professional, but I do love this stuff, and I'll always answer you as honestly as I can about the whole process from start to finish, about how perfumery operates, and talk about ingredients, the pricing, all that stuff, the best that I can give you. So with all that said, getting back to the stuff you really want to know, because you don't want to hear all that like attempted technical stuff. Liquid Brune, definitely a fantastic fragrance. I've got 2 bottles, and they both perform like monsters. The other fragrances by this perfume house, Coco Morado and Azur Oud, I got that in yesterday. I love this one. My wife's not a big fan of it, but who knows if I sneaky wear it or do like I used to do with other stuff like Amawage's Interlude, I would spray just a little on my wife's pillow every now and then, and she didn't know this. But over time, she started to she became familiar with it, started to kind of enjoy it, and now she actually somewhat likes it because of my sneaky little exposure. Was that right to do? I don't know. But I did do it to her anyway. But with that being said, I'm sorry that your bottle doesn't work very well. And that makes so much sense. Hey, I appreciate you too, Paul. Thank you for being here. And again, I really appreciate you guys who watch and take the time to even comment, because you guys asking questions and sharing your thoughts with me, it helps me keep having something to talk about with you guys while I do these streams. But it also helps me connect to you guys, because I like that you guys who watch me here on these streams that I do every week, I like that I get to know your names. I like to get to talk to you because, like I said, if the opportunity ever came that I had like 500,000 subscribers, a million subscribers, whatever, if that opportunity ever was to come, I still want to be doing this every week. And honestly, if I ever got to do this full time, which I'm like years away from that even being an option, but if like I was ever even do this as like a real career, not just because I love doing this, I would love to just still talk with you guys and stay personal with you guys. What's your temperature cutoff for winter scents? Well, Alex, to start with, I don't really have one myself much. We here in North Carolina get pretty decent seasons, but overall, I honestly wear what I want any time of the year. But I will say, probably for winter scents, I would say maybe around 74, 75 degrees. If like that's something that you personally want to kind of season out your scent profiles, I'd say around 75 degrees, you're crossing to that point where something that would be cardamom or cinnamon or anything along that line, like something that has a rich spicy feel or a woodsy spicy tone to it, that's very good for the winter. Maybe you can start to let that fade off and go into your more citrus dense and maybe floral, if you're into that kind of thing, would be good for 75 and up. Could be a little lower, could be a little higher. That's up to you. But I wear whatever anytime. Please remember to hit the like button. This guy deserves the love. Hey, man, thank you, F. Torre. If that's what you, by the way, anybody who watches my stuff, if you guys ever want me to call you anything in particular while I talk to you, please feel free to tell me your actual name. By all means, I'd love to get to know you guys for real. But F. Torre, I'm sorry if you've told me before. I can't remember your name, but yeah, I'd love to be able to identify and talk to you guys just straight up. And I appreciate y'all so much for taking the time to be here. I wear Bad Boy Extreme a lot, and I feel like it would be a lot in the summer. So here's the one thing about wearing dense fragrances like that. One more time, just to my other friend, thank you for saying that. Like, it means the world to me that any of you guys, like, I can't believe it took me so long to start doing these live streams. I had no idea it was so much fun to actually sit here and talk with you. As you can see, I'm a talker. My wife is an excellent listener. I'm a really good talker, apparently. And that's like literally the first day we ever met. We talked for 6 hours. So if it lets you know anything, I could go and do this forever because I love doing this kind of stuff. So I appreciate you guys so much for even taking the time to watch and give me the opportunity to talk about fragrances with you and life and stuff, and then connect with you guys and welcome you here. So thank you so much for that support. But yeah, Bad Boy Extreme, fantastic fragrance choice, by the way. I'm sorry that to the other people that I didn't get around to this yet. I'm going to, I promise. Thank you, Smoke Clan, for joining up. What are your thoughts about Middle Eastern dupes? I'll get right back to that here in just a second. Stick around. I'll talk about that in just a second. But yeah, Bad Boy Extreme, fantastic fragrance choice. But I will say, dense fragrances, again, like a Sauvage Elixir or an Amouage Interlude Man, something like that can feel a little hefty as you start sweating and get a little overly hot during the summertime. But if you don't spray too much, it can still, if you really love that scent profile, be perfectly okay to keep wearing. People will still appreciate it. I think that like Versace Eros is one of my favorite all-time fragrances, the Eau de Parfum, or my favorite, the Parfum edition. I think it's one of the greatest fragrances because it is a perfect blend of citrusy woods with the bergamot and that woody type of feel going on, that little bit of vanilla type of feel. I think something like that is perfect. Hello, Smoke Clan, for being here. Sorry, I just saw your other comment, but I think those are fantastic choices to kind of lean you more towards that middle ground. Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Male Le Parfum is like, in comparison to my favorite version, the Elixir, it's a great choice as well if you want something that's kind of like that. Could still be spring, summertime, but more fall type of range. But yeah, I think it's a good time for you to start sifting your way into those summer scents. But you can wear what you want. As far as Middle Eastern dupes, Smoke Clan, thank you for asking. To be honest, so right here, I have a bunch of those. This is where I keep most of like my, most, not all, but most of like my more expensive designer and niche fragrances. Zay, hello, thank you for being here. Feel free to ask any questions. But over here's where I keep most of my Middle Eastern fragrances, as I've been trying to build those into my collection, because I started off getting all designer and niche first so that I can get to know them and then come back and honestly compare and contrast dupes later. I think that dupes can be great. So here's the part where I'm going to tell you guys my full honest thoughts. And I'm going to use something like this. Now I'm going to talk about this to do that. Vulcan Feu, I think that's how you pronounce it, by French Avenue. Everybody's talking about this now because this is the God of Fire deal, right? So I personally don't own God of Fire. I've smelled it. I think it's nice. I think it's massively overpriced. I think that, like a lot of other fragrances out there, you're paying for the name. You are also paying the salaries of the people who created the fragrances, but for the most part, you're just paying for the name. I think that this is a little bit pricey, although it just came out. I think compared to like your Liquid Brune or something like that, I think it's a bit expensive to be a dupe. But Middle Eastern fragrances can be fantastic. A lot of them are not always dupes. A lot of them are. But I love Middle Eastern perfumery. A lot of Middle Eastern companies know what they're doing. I personally, very proud of this, although I don't talk about it a lot because visibly, obviously, I'm a white guy. But on my dad's side, there's actually a pretty hefty amount of Middle Eastern ancestry in his side of the family. He did like a lot of digging because he didn't know a lot of his family. And as it would turn out, almost half of my dad's DNA ended up being from Iran and also from Iran, Iraq, multiple cities in those regions. And then as well from North Africa, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco. So my dad had a lot of ancestry from those regions, and that brought me a lot of joy because I love learning about the Middle East, and it gave me the opportunity to like really connect to it in a special way. And so I like Middle East and India are places where a lot of fragrance and perfumery even came from historically. So beautiful places. Absolutely love it. Thank you for being here, by the way, from Egypt. Me and my wife want to go there at some point. Would love to do that. My wife actually has ancestry from Egypt. I didn't. Made me sad. I've been studying Egyptian history for a long time. But anyway, with all that babbling as I'm used to doing being said, so I think Middle Eastern perfumery and dupes are cool. But since I'm not a perfumer, I can say that they're great while also saying this next thing. And this next thing is, I don't like artistic freedom exists for the sake of copying. If companies make a fragrance and then they price tag it really high, and then the company wants to come in and can do a very well rendition of that DNA, I would rather a company take a DNA of a fragrance and then put a little spin on it. I would rather a company take a DNA of a fragrance that already exists and do a little twist. For instance, if you was to smell Vanilla Dunes by Hadlaj or Liquid Broom, you're going to get that Althea scent. But there's also just a little bit of something different that they've done. And you don't always know if it's because they did it on purpose to make their own twist, or if they were just really trying to do the real thing and they couldn't pull it off. Either way, if a company isn't trying to be dead on to another fragrance, then I like that more if they made their own variation. Because in the creative world, imagine if somebody writes a song and another person tries to write that exact same song, same lyrics and everything, even though they might write it a little bit different, or the vocalist has a different voice, whatever. Either way, I prefer people to be a little bit more unique. But at the end of the day, while you don't want to rob money from the perfumers and from the team who put the hard effort and work into making the real thing, it's still always nice to have the affordability for people who can't afford the more expensive stuff. So I like dupes. I think they're cool, but I don't think they're the best thing in the universe. By the way, it looks like my stream is lagging a little bit. If you guys are having trouble hearing me or seeing me, or if you can still hear me good, but I'm just moving funny, please let me know, because it is starting to storm outside. When you go to the club, you like wearing Gucci Guilty. I think Gucci Guilty is actually a fantastic fragrance, but me and my wife smelled the Gucci Guilty elixir the other day. I want to get that. I actually really want to get that because even though it's not my normal style, I think it's amazing. When I checked it out, I thought, wow, they did a really good job. So as it would turn out, one of my favorite, by the way, if my phone vibrates, it is my birthday again. So a lot of people are messaging me right now. They're starting to wake up. I think it's like currently 9:06 right now here where I'm at. So people are going to be messaging me happy birthday. So if you start hearing any vibrations, just let it go. But I think Gucci Guilty Elixir is an incredible fragrance. If you get a chance to smell it, please. Nordstrom has it. I believe Sephora has it. I'm not sure. But I don't really care for the bottle too much, although I do love green. But it's an incredible fragrance. So give it a shot. That's a fantastic choice you did, Jose. Peter Prague, Cool Waters. I actually like Cool Waters. I don't wear it. It's something I wore when I was much younger, although that doesn't mean that a mature man can't wear it. It's a fantastic fragrance overall. I had Cool Waters Intense. I like that a little bit more than the original. Forgive me. One of the supervisors at my work, he makes incredible Carolina Reaper and Ghost Pepper pickles and 7-pot pepper pickles. So I traded him after I did a comparison of Cool Waters versus, what was it? Cool Waters versus Creed Green Irish Tweed, because a lot of people compare those two. I went ahead and gave him I didn't give him Green Irish Tweed, but I did because it's expensive. But I gave him my Cool Waters in exchange for a couple of jars of pickles, and I think that was a fantastic choice on my behalf. But as you guys are coming through, anybody who's taking the time to watch, just know my name is Andrew. This is my channel, the Douglas Moon Fragrance Channel. I'm not sure if I should just even stop saying that my name is Andrew, because it is, but Douglas is my middle name. The channel is Douglas Moon. So I might just start telling you guys, I'm Douglas Moon, whatever. Call me what you'd like. But my real name is Andrew Douglas. And so I have my silver play button here. Recently got that in. Today's my birthday. So to anybody who's coming through here who hasn't been watching so far, I'm just doing a decent little birthday stream. I'd like to do these streams on a regular basis. I do them at least once a week, every Wednesday. I'm going to start doing that from now on as like my own little kind of like talk about fragrance, me hosting type of QVC style TV series. Well, I'll always be here to answer you guys' questions about fragrances, because at the end of the day, it just is what it is. I think this is a great venue to get to know you guys. What would be a good everyday wear fragrance, everyday wear cologne? I kind of always do keep going back because of the price range. Versace Eros Parfum, Dior Sauvage. I like the Parfum version or the Eau de Parfum version. I think if you can get your hand on a Mancera fragrance, because they're not too expensive. A lot of Manceras are a pretty good price range, like the Oud Lemon Mint for the summertime. Instant Crush is a fantastic, if you like that kind of vanilla. People say it's like Baccarat Rouge, but it's not really too close to that in the overall scent profile. If you don't mind a little bit more money going a certain way, if you like that leather feel, I think Tom Ford Ombre Leather Parfum is a good everyday wear. But I would say Dolce & Gabbana's like light blue intense, really good everyday wear. Versace Eros, really good everyday wear. Again, if you get Liquid Broom or if you get Hot Lodge Vanilla Dunes, I would say it's still pretty okay to have the real Altair by Parfums de Marly just to wear from time to time. But if you get Liquid Brooms or Vanilla Dunes, really fantastic choice just to wear on a regular basis, because they smell fantastic. They're beautiful fragrances, but they perform well and they're not expensive. So something to wear every day, good choice. This guy, like I said, hopefully will go down in price soon, because I've been holding it for a long time, but I haven't really talked about it just yet. So again, I've smelled the original God of Fire a few times. Wasn't the biggest fan of it in the sense that it smelled okay, but for the price of it, it's and people say it's performance. I didn't spray it on my skin, but people say God of Fire's performance isn't that great. One of my favorite perfumers and people that I've always looked up to and watched, Aaron Terrence Hughes. He's like my absolute hero as far as perfumery and looking up fragrance profiles and stuff like that goes. He personally checked out God of Fire not very long ago, and he as well, just like me, was not super impressed by it. Well, this is not exactly one-to-one, but for the price range, still a little too high for me for a cologne, but it performs way better, at least as far as I know, to the original God of Fire. But this is like that ginger mango kind of tea profile type of deal, and I think this is fantastic. I know it's a bit on the sweeter side, but Dumont Nitro Red. You know what, F. Torre, that is a fantastic, fantastic suggestion. I'm going to pull that out right now because I have it right here. So again, I don't always remember to think about a lot of the cheaper fragrances, because my personal favorites, stuff that I like to wear on a regular basis, like Naxos, Xerjoff, stuff like that, Amouage's Reflection, that's just kind of where my tastes are and where they lean. I don't normally. Now, I will say Latafa Hamra. I have Latafa Hamra Kawa and the new Dukan, I think is how you pronounce it. I've got those down here if you guys want to hear me talk about those. Just a quick side note, the new Latafa Hamra, the Dukan that I've got down here, if you've already got Kawa and you've already got the original Hamra, those two I think are good options to have, because they got variant differences to them. That one's a bit more sweet snickerdoodle sugar cookie, one's a little bit more vibrant, just pure cinnamon coffee cake style. I think it's good to have those two, but the new Hamra, not necessarily worth the money, because of the simple fact that it's not that expensive. So if you want to add it when it gets a little bit cheaper to your collection, fine. It has nice uniqueness with the pimento berry and so forth at the top. But literally after those very new top notes burn away, that's all you really get that's different. I'm not trying to lie to you guys, being dead serious. Once you get that new Latafa Hamra, and once the top parts, the interesting notes that they've added on kind of burn away, the undertones about how it sits on your skin for the rest of the day, super beast performer, just like the other Hamras. But if you've already got the other ones, it's not necessary. I would say my favorite is Kawa by Latafa Hamra, because I just think it's the overall best sweetness and deliciousness to the profile. With that being said, that's a good everyday fragrance, especially during the fall and winter. But my buddy here, F. Torre, absolutely correct. If you get your hands on Nitro Red by Dumont, again, this is not my style. It's going to be very, very rare that you'll see persons like me grab this to wear at all, because not because it's cheaper, but it's just the scent profile. I think that whether I had known this was like $300 or the price that it is right now, this is just not my type of smell. It's a watermelon-ish kind of forward smell, not in a gross way, not in a cheap way. When people hear watermelon, sometimes they might think that that might not be the best quality of a fragrance note, but it actually was excellently well done in this. I just don't go for this type of scent profile, but if you like fresh, not necessarily citrusy, but still fruity in the sense, but not like cheap. If you like that fresh watermelon type of feel or appley kind of feel, I think that this would be a good, fairly priced everyday fragrance for you. It's just not personally my thing. I like semi-aquatics. I like musks, incense, smoky feel. I love rose and floral fragrances, but not necessarily fruity florals. I was very much looking forward to this because this Lattafa was supposed to be kind of a take on that type of rose with fruit going onto it. And sometimes fruity roses can be very nice, but this is a little, to be honest with you guys, this smells cheap. Like if you get your nose on this in comparison to the other Facars, I think that this actually does have a bit of a cheap scent to it. And I was looking forward to it because I love rose fragrances, but it sort of let me down. There's other cheap fragrances that to me like smell super nice. Like if you get Mad Al Dahab, I never say these fragrances quite right, but if you get your hands on something like this actually smells incredible for the price. But some of the Lattafas are super hit or miss for me. Lattafa is one of those brands where they make stuff like, I've got Eternal Oud down there, and it is like an incredible fragrance. It's got a lot going on for it. But some of their fragrances feel like it was just thrown together really fast and very, very overly synthetic and just not my style. What's up, JJ? Thank you for being here. It's definitely rainy down here as well. It's my birthday, as you can see, celebrating also. This is not where I'm going to be putting this full time. This is just where I'll probably keep putting this when I do my videos or whatever. But I got my little damaged, unfortunately, but my Douglas Moon fragrance, 100,000 subscriber silver plaque up here. Very much grateful to have that and celebrating. But what's up, JJ? How you doing this morning? Let's see. Nitro Red is kind of divisive to me. I like the scent, but it's very loud. It does. It smells quite a bit like, I agree with you, Paul. It's got that loudness to it, and it does have like a like a less sharp Hawaiian punch kind of feel. So very similar to Versace Hawass. Versace Hawass, the original, is one of those fragrances. Also, Versace Hawass Ice. These are one of those fragrances that for younger people are like fantastic, rich, fruity type of fragrances, but they're not rich in the sense like dense and earthy. They're just very bright, sweet fragrances. And to me, they're not my style. So while I keep them around, I do like some Hawasses. I will say I was very jazzed up when I first got Hawass Fire. I was pretty excited about this when I first got my hands on it because I thought, this is different. It's unique. It's very bright in a sense of like a rich redness, like the bottle fits it very well. But honestly, a lot of that line really doesn't do much for me. Although I will say this has started to grow on me. Let me see if this is happy birthday. Hey, thank you, buddy. If you ain't got any Shane yet. I haven't got any Nishanes yet because, to be honest with you, they are as well a little bit more in that mid and upper price point range. And now that I've already got all these expensive niche bad boys and designers, and now that I've got all these over cheapies that I've been working on over here, I'm not going to be buying any more fragrances for a while. I'll put it to you like that. I've got a few more fragrances coming in that I've ordered that are like on the way. Like I recently rebought Club de Nuit Intense Parfum. I bought the original Pure Parfum, not the limited edition. I've smelled it. It's all right. But I actually like the Pure Parfum edition. That's just my personal tastes. I know a long time ago I didn't like Club de Nuit Intense Man. The original Club de Nuit Intense Man, but I got the Eau de Parfum at one point. Thought it was okay. But my tastes have changed. So I rebought a newer bottle of the Pure Parfum Club de Nuit Intense. When it comes in, it's supposed to come today. Once that gets dropped off, I'm going to give it another shot because I've grown to love that type of scent a little bit more, and I want to revisit and see how I feel about it now that I've experienced all of these. With that being said, though, thank you guys for wishing me happy birthday. Thank you guys for being here and watching my videos because I'm continuing to work on building, again, this dynamic and relationship with y'all, welcoming you guys here. I'm going to continue doing this every week. So anybody who's willing to drop through and take the time to watch, take the time to communicate and ask about fragrances, That's all I want to do. Just keep building a good community. But yeah, as I was going to say, Hawassa's elixir, I honestly did not like this when I first got it, when I first sprayed it. The reason I didn't like this when I first got this and smelled it was compared to Rayhan's elixir, which is supposed to be, again, a take on, first of all, Jean Paul Gaultier's La Mer elixir is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. Full stop. A lot of people I know don't like it. They think it's too sweet, too honey. But Jean Paul Gaultier's La Mer elixir is one of my personal favorite and my wife's personal favorite fragrances of all time. So when I smelled Rayhan elixir, I was like, okay, they did a pretty decent job with this. It's a good take on it overall, but I still, again, prefer the original. This one I did not care for, solely because of the fact that when you first sprayed it on, it actually had a very harsh alcohol, benzyl alcohol, denat alcohol type of scent, very strong on the arm. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of off-putting, because a lot of fragrances, even like these cheapies, like when you get Hot Lodge and even a lot of Latafas, aren't even harsh when you first spray them on. You don't get blasted with that alcohol scent. But that particular Hawassa scent, when you put it on, it hit me harsh with the alcohol. I did not like it right away. But after it wore down, I did discover that they did a pretty good job with the DNA. But again, if I can and will have the original, I can and will. Let's see. Hear you on the prices. A lot of decent fragrances or a lot of decants around there. Absolutely. Yeah, it just really goes up and down when it comes down to talking about the price ranges. How do you like Versace Eros Energy? It's a good, you think it's a good smell, Zay? Well, thank you for asking about that. This is something that I told myself I'm going to really start wearing this summer because, first of all, pretty good price. At the end of the day, compared to all these other fragrances that I have, here's one of those things where people tell you stuff and you can't always count on it. It's like Vulcan Few, right? This is, again, for anybody who's dropping through here who hasn't seen yet, Vulcan Few is that God of Fire dupe type of deal going on. Fantastic fragrance. I put it on this morning, so I'm wearing it today overall as like my main fragrance, at least for now. But I will say, people keep calling this a monster, a beast. I swear to you, these sponsored fragrance guys or whatever, like on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, they really drive me nuts. To be put completely frank, I'm 32 today, so I'm getting old. I can say this. They piss me off, guys. People talk about how all these fragrances are super major beasts, and they're not. Okay, God of Fire itself was a waste of money because it's not a super duper beast like you would like it to be. This sticks to the skin, and that's basically all it does. I literally watched a guy's review earlier about this where he was talking about, I sprayed it and it just filled up the whole room and it was there for like 2 days. I'm tired of people lying about fragrances. I'm saying that to say, like, this is a fantastic fragrance. I think it's worth having. But it is not a massive beast. So if you're going to go out and buy this, wait till it gets cheaper. Trust me, wait till this is like $10, $15, $20 cheaper. It will be in time, but this is not a super duper beast. If anybody tells you that it is, I got a bottle and I got 2 friends that's got a bottles. Okay. People who also do reviews. We've smelled each other's and they are not monsters. Okay. So just don't let people keep lying to you. JJ, thank you for agreeing. I'm so sick of it, dude. Nathaniel, Eros Energy. No way, dude. You bought this because of me. Nathan, sorry I called you Nathaniel, but Nathan Dominguez, you got this because of me. Dude, that makes me so happy that you did it. That's awesome. But I love this. I would say this is one of the best fragrances, bar none, because if you want something good price range, first of all, sorry about your opinion, Channing Tatum's a pretty funny dude. I think he's all right. I don't love all his movies, but he's a pretty funny dude. He was the face for this. Before this even came out, I knew about this coming out because I like watching people's essentials. I don't know why, but Channing Tatum was the guy who was originally, he's a face for this, and he was talking about it during his GQ essentials. So I was like, cool, I look forward to that. Uh-oh, sorry, you guys, a sneeze is coming on. And I am a very old spirited North Carolina man. Like Paw status is in me, grandpa status is in me. So when I start sneezing, it goes and goes. So if I do start sneezing, you guys are going to have to forgive me for like 20 minutes. But anyway, with that being said, no, Versace Eros Energy is like the best possible version of this thing to me, because obviously a lot of people keep comparing this to Creed Aventus. Now, why do they do that? I have Creed Aventus. I've got basically every other dupe almost, or I've had at least every dupe, like Mont Blanc Explorer. I had it, reviewed it, got rid of it. Every dupe you can possibly imagine, every take on it, even like Hawass Black. I've smelled it. This to me is so much different because most things go for a pineapple feel. A lot of things do also incorporate a lemon feel, but Eros Energy is like an excellent performer. If you're looking for something that is a good performing fragrance for a decent enough middle upper price, so it's not like cheapy level price, although you can get smaller bottles. But I think this is like $80 to $110, depending on where you buy it. This performs so well, but it also smells fantastic. It's that more bright. If I want something like this, I'd prefer it to be that bright, uplifting sweetness. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of pineapple stuff. The reason I like the Vulcan Few at all is because it's more of that mango ginger feel. I don't care too much for the pineapple type of scented stuff, but that's just my own opinion. I like lemony stuff. Honestly, let me do a little spray on this hand. I might honestly layer this with the Vulcan Few and just see how it goes. Oh my God. I love this. I don't normally care for citrusy things too much. Excuse me, but this is incredible and I love it. And I highly recommend it to people who are just looking for a decent price, but still youthful, yet also could be mature. Because as it gets in the air, when you first spray it, very heavy lemon balm, very heavy lemon candy. If you've ever had lemon heads candy, you get that bright, sharp lemon candy sweetness, but it starts to mellow out. And this has just been perfectly done. It starts mellowing out and it's just beautiful, rich, wonderful bergamot lemon type of feel with that soft woodness going on. Secretive Ventus and all those go for sharp woods underneath that citrus feel, that pineapple lemon feel. So you get a lot more earthy woodness. And I think what they did perfect here compared to all those other takes is they backed off the woodsiness except for when it really dries down and mostly led with the brightness of the citrus. So let me see, Eros Energy is more solid. It sure is. The opening is crazy. The dry down is not talked about enough. See, that's what I'm saying. Thank you so much, Nathan, for letting me know that, dude. To Zay, I highly recommend you purchasing this if you're going to get you a good summer fragrance. I think this is fantastic. You can't go wrong with it. I really seriously recommend it. But Nathan, that makes me so happy. I'm glad that you're loving this. I'm glad that me recommending it was able to encourage you to go for it. I wish Eros Energy's opening stuck around a little bit more to dry down, but really good as a whole. Banana Republic Midnight Hour. Hey, thank you for suggesting that. That'd be really fun to check out. I actually like going into Banana Republic. So again, let me make this very clear to you guys who are watching. I might have all these fragrances, okay? Again, cannot stress enough. Most of that's because we sold our house. So I was able to do this with some of that money set aside. But with that being said, I'm not rich at all. I can't just do what I want. I can't just go throw money away. So Banana Republic is expensive of a store to me. I don't know about where you live, but I'm not the kind of guy. I'm not wearing, like a lot of fragrance YouTubers and stuff. Maybe if I start wearing suits, my channel will do even better. Maybe if I start wearing a button-up shirt. My wife literally cracked a joke yesterday about how like the only button-up shirt that I own a few tropical shirts, and then I also own the shirt from our wedding. My wife was like, you should just start wearing that in your videos and see if it helps you get more people or whatever. And I was like, no, I just like wearing the t-shirts. I might start doing that, but who knows? But with that being said, I'm not a rich guy. I don't wear fancy clothes. I just wear like Hollister outfits or whatever, or like Walmart clothes and stuff. So going into places like Banana Republic would only happen if I was going to smell that super cheap fragrance, but I would love to do that. So Eros versus Eros Flame. I would say I like Eros. If you're talking about the original Eros, I would say, I'm going to honestly say I'll go with Eros Parfum. Eros Parfum if you're talking about original. If you mean Eros Energy versus Eros Flame, I'm going to have to go with Eros Flame. Something about the blood orange in that is done so well in a way that doesn't make me feel yucky or sick. Again, I don't like grapefruit and stuff, but blood orange and things can be fantastic. I really like Eros Flame. I love Eros Energy. Eros Parfum is my number one. Then Eros Flame, Eros Energy, then Eros Eau de Parfum. That's kind of where I sit. But I recommend if you're going to choose between one of the Eros Parfum, Burlington has Banana Republic for like $20. Ooh, I'm going to have to go check that out then. Thank you, Harley, for commenting and letting me know that. Eros Flame wins over Eros, but the Parfum is dang good. Hey, that's good. I'm glad that you like Eros Flame that much. Eros Flame, I love it. Unfortunately, I don't have a bottle of it anymore. If you go back in my catalog on my videos, I had a bottle of Eros Flame a long time ago, but I ended up giving it away as a gift because I had a buddy who really liked it when I wore it. And as you can see, I have so many fragrances that for me, if there was a fragrance that I don't wear hardly ever because there's other ones that I just kind of go for on a more usual basis, I tend to like to give things to my coworkers and my friends and people that like I meet in real life. on a regular basis. Like if I can do that, it makes me happy because there's no excuse for me keeping all these all the time. Again, I'm not going to start shipping these out because that's a little bit more work. And to be honest with you, right now, I'm a little too lazy to do that. But maybe one day I'll start doing things like that. Maybe one day I'll do giveaways because I know in the content creation world, that's one of those super fun gimmicks that people like to do. But Eros Energy is a fantastic fragrance. I really, really love. Oh gosh, as you can see, I've got the big boy bottle. I got my little big boy bottle of Eros Parfum, and I've got two or three more. I've got 2 or 3 more boxes of this. There's a few bottles that I like stocked up on because there was a good discount site I was using. Burlington, you meant Rack Store, diving. Hey, all right, Feels the Fragrance Addiction. I'll have to check that out, Paul. Thank you for commenting and letting me know that. But yeah, let's see. Have you tried Burberry Hero Parfum? I heard it's okay. I've just never smelled it myself. So I actually have that down somewhere or another. Just like I've also got, I don't remember if I got the Eau de Parfum here. So I also had the Eau de Parfum. So sorry, let me restate that. I don't have the Parfum anymore. I actually, again, gave that as a gift to a brother-in-law. But Burberry Hero Eau de Parfum is a wonderful smell. My wife loves this one. I don't ever wear this, which I'm not sure why, because during the fall and winter time, this will be fantastic. But again, there's so many earthy, woodsy fragrances that this and the Parfum edition is really nice. It's okay, but it's not something I would say is like something I would necessarily grab for. But I think it's pretty good for the price that you pay. So if you're interested in it, go check it out if you can at a local store. So I think it's not a bad option. So that's the issue is, I will say this, if you're interested in a designer fragrance, so your Dolce & Gabbanas and things like that, no disrespect to the people who originally created Burberry fragrances or YSL or anything like that, but if it's like a niche perfume house that isn't just sold anywhere and they're like really trying to put themselves out there, which obviously a lot of times niche fragrances are the more expensive fragrances, but I tend to recommend to people to buy the real thing if you can. So if you can't, sure, use a discounter. But if you can afford to do it and it's like a niche fragrance house, or again, obviously one of the cheapies, I recommend spending the real money to get them to support those people if you can do that. But if you can't, obviously do whatever. When it comes to designer fragrances, on the other hand, these houses are so expensive. These houses make so much money, especially in the fashion world. I still want the perfumers to get paid. But most of the time, I recommend when you're going to get a fragrance like these, probably try like Burberry and stuff. Get your stuff off of a discounter. If you can go to Fragrance Net, Max Aroma, I hear people talk about Joma Shop. If you can use sites like that, trustworthy, like you know what you're going to get is the real thing, I personally recommend using those kind of sites instead, because at the end of the day, you don't need to spend the full price if you don't have to. I think this is the big boy bottle. As you can see, I've used quite a bit and I've stocked up on these. But this is the, what is it, 6.8? 200 milliliters. Yeah, this is the 200 milliliter, and I got this for like $80, something like that, 110 off of a discounter. So if you really, and this is the Parfum. So if you really like something and it's a designer fragrance, I definitely recommend going to discounters, and you'll save a whole lot of money. And they usually have sample bottles. What would be a good one for winter and fall? Honestly, still hanging up for right here. It just got 3.4 light blue for $35 since it's being phased out. See, that's another thing. I just smelled the new formulation of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue the other day, because my buddy I keep talking about all the time, Delaney at Nordstrom, I hate the bottle. Just letting this be very explicit. I hate the bottle of the new Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to move that. I have behind here actually, you know what? I think up here I got a brand new package that's already opened. So this is, I got another light blue Eau de Toilette, but this is a new box that I have here of the Light Blue Intense. So I really enjoy the look and the feel of the more rounded off bottles. They have that very classic, I don't know, something about, like, you know, luxurious 80s. You're at the beach. Maybe you're in Italy, not that I've ever been, type of feel. This is such an amazing fragrance. This is definitely one of the greatest fragrances that's ever been made. If you guys don't like me saying that, tough noogies. I love this. But the new formulation, I don't like the bottle. And when I saw it at the store the other day, the new formulation is just like the same thing with just like a little bit more lift, a little bit more something added into the original Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. So if you can, I prefer getting your hands on one of the older formulations. especially from a store or off a discounter site. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, the new light blue is just whatever. But back to my buddy Zay. I'm sorry I didn't answer you. For a good fragrance, for a fall or winter fragrance, again, I keep saying this over and over again because I really am on an Eros kick lately. Eros Parfum, fantastic fragrance. I'm about to suggest something else that I haven't talked about in a while. And I kind of regret that I haven't done this because I've almost never brought this up during any live stream so far. I don't think I've talked about this fragrance since I did my original review of it on my channel. Oh my goodness gracious. Armani Code Parfum. Let me make this explicitly clear. I have almost exclusively not seen anybody in quite some time talk about this, and I don't know why. I seriously don't know why, because this is actually a gorgeous fragrance. And you also almost find nothing that smells like it in most markets at this point. And it reminds me of something. And I don't know what it reminds me of, but I stocked up on this bottle, and it has such a beautiful, rich, floral, citrus feel to it. And honest to God, if you're looking for like a good, reasonably priced fragrance you can get your hands on for the summertime, I say get you, oh my God, this is such a strong one too. I'm not even joking you. I might actually cover this back. I was going to do the Eros Energy, but I think today I might, just because this is such a beautiful rainy day fragrance. I'm surprised I forgot about this. Hold on. I think it's not said enough. Eros is just as versatile as a blue like Sauvage. You're absolutely right, my friend. Which Club de Nuit is that silver bottle? So this is Club de Nuit Sillage, or Sillage, S-I-L-L-A-G-E. In French, it's pronounced Sillage, I believe. But this is the, as you see next to it, I've got the Silver Mountain Water by Creed. So this is the dupe of Silver Mountain Water by Creed. Fantastically done. Has a little bit more of a synthetic feel, but it is an incredible fragrance. So Alex D, thank you for watching. And by the way, throwing this out there. Any thoughts on comparing Aqua de Jo line reformulations? The Aqua de Jo. So I will actually tell you, I've been going regularly to Nordstrom and continuing to put my nose on the Aqua de Jo's because they've got the Parfum, they got Profundo, and they also have the new Aqua de Jo Elixir. I will say this till the cows come home. I think Aqua de Jo Parfum and Profundo are like the best renditions of it. The new Aqua de Jo Elixir is just kind of, it's whatever. It's not necessary if you've already got the Parfum or Profundo, stick with those. But they're not my style. They are very classic fragrances, but I just can't get into it. It feels too youthful for me, and not in a way that I'm comfortable wearing. I wouldn't want to smell like the Aqua de Jo line, but I have smelled the new formulations. And again, I go test them regularly, like brand new bottles and stuff. And I think there's just something missing. I don't think they feel quite right to me. I'm getting to look out for it. Hey, you're welcome. Absolutely. By the way, anybody who continues to come through here, please. As you can see, I've got my nose on a buttload of fragrances. If you've got questions about fragrances, I'm more than happy to answer you. Currently wearing Profundo EDP. See, like I said, you made the right choice, Nathan. Aqua de Jo Profundo might be my personal favorite of all the Aqua de Jo line because something about it, again, they all smell youthful, but the Profundo has, to me, maybe the best take that gives it almost a little bit of more maturity to it. So not my taste, and that's totally fine, because as I'm sitting here right now, you like the 2023 version. Yeah, see, that's what Delaney, my buddy, was saying, that he prefers the older versions as well. He doesn't like some of the additions. What's your opinion about Carolina Herrera Bad Boy line? Things can get really confusing with all the flankers. What candle company do you work for? So is that okay? I almost thought that was my buddy. So I work for a company called Candle Science. So basically, for anybody who doesn't know, I'll answer my other buddy real quick, or I'll say this. I think the Carolina Herrera Bad Boy line is pretty decent. I think that it's not my style. Forgive me just a second, guys. I don't personally like the Bad Boy line as something I would wear, but I think that it was done very well. How good do you smell? Well, Austin, to be completely honest with you, I think today I smell fantastic. I started off trying that new Vulcan Few fragrance, trying to give it a shot as I'm preparing to do an actual real review for it. It was like my fragrance of the day. Every day I do a fragrance of the day video, but I like it a lot. But I think I'm about to, since it's my birthday and I want something a little more soothing for me, I think since I've already tried it out and tested it, I'm about to throw this on. Because again, Armani Code Parfum, fantastic fragrance. Thank you, Austin, for being here. But yeah, to my buddy F Torre, I think that the Bad Boy line is pretty decent. It's just not my style. Thank you again for saying happy birthday, everybody. I really appreciate you guys. But yeah, I always will tell you guys, by the way, if I think something's been very well done, it's just not for me. That doesn't. So if I say it's not for me, that doesn't mean it's bad. I'm just being honest that I can appreciate something and still think I wouldn't wear it. So just like Aqua de Joe, they're not really something I want to wear. But if I had to choose, I'd pick the Profundo probably. In the Bad Boy line, I think that most of them were well done, but they're just not my speed. But I do think that they're actually pretty good performers for the most part. But with that being said, this guy's going to thank you, Austin. I really appreciate that. That's a good compliment to Dash, by the way. The only reason I don't know if is that the Dash that I work with. I don't know your last name, so probably not. Like I know this is Dash Davidson, but just throwing this out there. I do work with a guy named Dash. His name is Dash Shield, which is a pretty cool name. He's also got some of the best hair you've ever seen in the universe. Again, to my buddy Austin, I really appreciate you saying that. Buy any one of these fragrances, dude. Get this right here. Get Armani Co Parfum. Remember, guys, I ain't sponsored by nobody. Even if let me make this, you know what, real quick, just a side note, because again, we're celebrating my silver play button. So the other day, I actually got some emails about sponsorships. I've been getting them. I've been getting emails from companies who want to potentially do a sponsorship with me. First and foremost, as I already did a video recently about, I made the huge mistake. Thank you, Austin, for subscribing. Hey, buddy. Well, thank you for check out my other videos when you get the chance. Thank you for the happy birthday, and I hope you have a beautiful day. All my buddy joined in. John. That's what I call my brother. His name is Jonathan. Thank you, Redbeard, for the happy birthday. Good morning. You joined a little bit later because I'm going to be ending this live stream soon because I got to go meet with my mom, and going to have a great birthday day for the most part. I do the lamest crap ever. It was too rainy to really enjoy the beach this weekend, but I am 32 now, and I like going and hanging out at the mall. That's what I do with myself. Justin Gee, happy birthday. I've never been into a fragrance, but now I'm going to check out some things because you suggested. Thank you, Justin, for saying that, dude. I really appreciate you being here. Everybody who said happy birthday, recovering music addict, thank you for saying happy birthday. If you're saying recovering music addict might just be a fun name for you. So I don't know if like it's just like a cool name. And if it is, awesome, a great name. But if like you actually in recovery from like a substance abuse, awesome, because I can't believe I forgot to mention this. So to everybody who's watching right now, it's only 23 people right now. So I just want you guys to know only. How dare I say that? I should be grateful. Thank you, God, for you guys who are even watching at all. So sorry for saying it like that. But to you guys watching, I keep forgetting today's not just my birthday, but also my birthday represents another year of being sober. So I cannot believe I forgot. Probably the most important thing about my birthday today is this means 7 years since I've gotten sober. Like I gave up alcohol. No offense to anybody who out there is a drinker, but I gave up alcohol, I gave up drugs, and I quit smoking cigarettes and using all tobacco vaping products. So again, no offense to anybody out there who who drinks. I don't support people using drugs at all. But to anybody out there who drinks alcohol, as long as you're being responsible, I don't have any problems with you. To the people who smoke cigarettes or vape, like as long as you're being respectful about it, I don't like that you're hurting your body, but enjoy yourself. We're all hurting ourselves somehow. As you guys have probably seen, you might not know this, but I had actually lost like 115 pounds. I've gained back 35 in the past 2 years because after we got married, we really went hog crazy eating. But yeah, just throwing it out there. I cannot believe I forgot that today marks 7 years sober for me. So to anybody out there who's in recovery and stuff, send lots of love to you guys. God bless you guys. Like, as you can see, I obviously have a different addiction. So I might not be using substances anymore. Now I just sniff a lot of fragrances. But with that being said, super awesome to have you guys here. Hello, Clarice. Happy, thank you. You'll be 32 in July. Well, super happy to have a fellow 32-year-old here. And so thank you, Justin Gita, like I said, for being a part of this. I'm glad that I've been able to like inspire you with fragrances. And thank you guys for the congratulations. Friend of Bill over here, this is a solution. Thank you, JJ. I don't know what you mean by solution, but thank you either way for watching and for taking the time to comment. And like I said, Redbeard, I appreciate you so much. Congratulations, Paul, for being 4 years sober. Congratulations, Clarice. I'm going to be 2 years sober. That's awesome. And then to my buddy Redbeard over here, dude, 8 months sober. You was on pain pills, back surgery when you were 26. Well, let me tell you something. I'm extremely proud of you for being sober. I'm super grateful for you and your journey. I hate that you had to have back surgery, but I'm glad you came out the other side, my friend. And I'm just thankful that you're here. To everybody who watches my channel, I personally talk about it regularly. I believe in God. I mean, no offense to anybody who don't, or to anybody of any belief system or faith. I'm wide open to answer questions or talk about whatever you like. I'm not a debater. I can, but I won't, because I don't think that gets people anywhere. Discussions is what gets people somewhere. So my job is not here to try to like push that kind of stuff on you necessarily, but I do talk about God and my faith publicly. I'm not ashamed of that, and I'm not going to be. So with that being said, I believe we all have free will, and a part of that specifically is for us to be on our own journey to overcome obstacles, to get us to a better place for ourselves and the endless purposes and paths we have in our life. So to all you guys out there who are celebrating sobriety and recovery as well, you made your decision. Unfortunately, and I personally know way too many people who didn't make the decision to let go of substances, and it took their life. But you guys who are still here, who are in recovery, I love you guys, and God bless each and every one of you, and I'm super, super proud of you guys. To Zachary Hillman, 10 years sober, that is an incredible, incredible thing to be proud of, to be thankful for. I'm super happy. I don't know you personally, Zachary, just like I don't know any of you guys personally just yet. But I hope to one day, somehow or another, get to know each of you even better, the best that I can offer time. So to all of you guys, again, who are sober and living that lifestyle, thank you so much for just continuing to live another day. And you're all here, and I'm proud of that. From the AA book, You're From the Same World, made it out in February 2019. JJ, that's awesome. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Sorry about that. You're absolutely right, and I'm super glad. I never personally went to trick. Hey, my two boys are into fragrances too. That's awesome, Redbeard. Super awesome that your sons are also into fragrances. Well, maybe one day I'll get to not just meet you, but to meet them as well. And we'll get to talk about all these together. By the way, anybody else, again, who's dropping through, who has never watched any of my stuff before, forgive me. Also, don't forgive me, because I do what I want. But I don't just talk about fragrances. If you want to interrupt me at any time and comment about fragrances, I will answer anything you'd like to know. But personally, I talk about life, God, and everything else in the world. Hey, give me one fragrance that perfectly fits the summer for a 24-year-old man. Perfect. 24-year-old man. I keep talking about this one. Had a lot of people ask earlier. But this bad boy right up here, the little yellow beast, Versace Eros Energy. You're 24 years old. It's summertime. I can recommend the Eros Parfum or Eau de Parfum. Also, honestly, if you don't want something very citrusy, you want something more laid back, more mellow, more bergamot forward floral. Bergamot is a citrus, but to me, it's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit almost on the floral side than like lemon or pineapple. 100% this bad boy right here, Armani Coke Parfum. Fantastic choice if you're 24 years old. So Amir, thank you for being here and asking a question. Excuse me. Funny story, back in 2014, spent 6 months living in Boone, North Carolina, trying to get sober. Oh, dude, absolutely. So Boone, and if anybody who doesn't know, is a beautiful place in North Carolina where I live. I don't live in Boone. I live probably 2 hours and some change away from there. But if you live in North Carolina, for anybody who don't know, you're like in the perfect epicenter to be a few hours away from mountains, from woods, and from also the ocean. You're like a few hours away from pretty much anything you can almost want to get your hands on, except for like a real true, Middle Eastern or Arizona style desert. I'm sure somewhere we've got a desert like thing, but it's pretty much the only terrain. You can't really find something that would perfectly fit that if that's what you want. But I'm glad that you were this way someday, or back in the day or whatever. And I'm glad that you also had some time getting yourself sober back then. If you can find it for a good price. Oh, absolutely. So that's another suggestion. I keep, there's so many fragrances. It's not always perfectly able to talk about all of them, but for another good summer fragrance, if you're looking for something super summery, then Hot Lodge Island is a good priced version, but also still a little bit on the pricey intake of Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male. They got, Le Beau, Paradise Garden, or the original Le Beau Le Parfum. Fantastic summer choice if you're looking for that kind of thing. If you want that coconut pineapple forward, but not in like a overly pineapple-y way, if you're just looking for a very beautiful type of fragrance that reminds you of like a pina colada, but not too bright citrusy. Fantastic choice. Can't go wrong with Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau Le Parfum, or the Paradise Garden edition, or as well, like I said, the Island by Hot Lodge. Fantastic choice. When I lived in Tennessee, I was all around the rolling hills and mountains. You know what? I personally am a beach guy. I always have been. I probably always will be, more or less a beach person. And yet my wife, she's very much more into mountains and mountainous scenery. So sorry, I'm really appreciating that fragrance. But it's really nice to get to go up to mountain areas and stuff like that and just roam around and kind of enjoy. But I hate ticks. I hate ticks, and I hate most bug-like creatures. They bring me no joy. And for some reason, whereas people like my wife, everybody thinks I'm crazy. People like my wife can walk and walk and walk and walk through the woods, and it seems like nothing wants to do with her. They're just like, no, thank you. I must have the most attractive blood and skin to bugs in all of the universe, because I can't seem to walk through the woods whatsoever or walk anywhere. I can't even walk out the front door without every bug within a 15-mile radius going, I wonder what it'd be like to land on that person. I wonder what it would be like to try him out. How about we try to go in his nose, his mouth, his ears? Let's go everywhere he's got to offer. That's what bugs seem to do to me for some strange reason. Is Cupid Hypnotic a real cologne? I see ads for it, but I'm unsure. I don't even know myself. But since you asked, again, I don't have the ability to give you like a real solid answer because I don't know. But with my other little phone that I use, let me take a quick gander here and see if I can find any information for you. By the way, once again, I'm sorry. People keep sending me a lot of like happy birthday stuff. To my buddy Redbeard, yeah, ticks are horrible. I don't know if ticks live everywhere in the world. I've never Google searched it before. We could probably do that right now as well. But let's see. You called it Cupid Harmonic? Cupid Hypnotic. Let's take a look here. I don't see anything about it. Yeah, so Cupid Hypnosis Cologne. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything really show up for it that looks sincere, so it might not be real, but who knows? They're not bad, but I would love to hear more niche side. Okay, I will definitely suggest for you some niche side. Oh, he got niche side too. Yeah, JJ. So, Amir, if you want to talk about things that are a bit more on these, if you don't mind the price. So, if somebody says niche to me, just throwing this out there, I've known people who think that like Middle Eastern perfumery can be niche, and it can be. So, if we're talking about cheap Middle Eastern perfumery, but I set those completely to the side. So, if you want me to talk about, hypnosis, but no, I didn't see anything about it. But if you want to talk about niche fragrances, just know they're more expensive, but we'll get into that. You know what? Just for now, I'm going to keep doing these again because obviously every time I do live streams, I'm going to be talking about a lot of the same fragrances that people ask me about. So to you guys who rewatch, I'll answer any of your questions you want about whatever, but I'm sorry if I ever bore you guys to death talking about the same old fragrances and stuff out of all these, but let's get to it. To start with, I'm going to go ahead and throw you into this bad boy. Ciao from Malta. You know something? My wife has family from Malta, so very happy to see you, Luigi. That's an awesome name, by the way. If that's your real name, ciao. Very nice to meet you. But to start with, I'm going to go through these Xerjoffs because, oh, my sweet goodness gracious. Xerjoff, like I said, till the day that I pass away and leave this earth. Xerjoff is my favorite fragrance house in the entire universe. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this. I think this is an incredible summer fragrance. If you want to be completely honest, this floral, oody, we got apple, we got cinnamon, but yet bright rose, oud, cinnamon feel, the apple feel. I think this is an absolute incredible summer fragrance. This is Alexandria too. And they also have a updated version, a celebration or like a anniversary edition. I haven't got my hands on it yet because let's just be real. It's extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. This bad boy, if you can see, I got the mama and the baby. So I did have to get myself an extra bottle when I was able to do so, but oh my sweet goodness, dude. This is a perfect summer fragrance. Xerjoff's 40 knots, like my buddy Redbeard here suggested, absolute perfect summer fragrance. And honestly, most Xerjoff fragrances are fantastic for the summer if you want to get your hands on it. But Alexandria too, if you can afford it and you don't mind throwing out that like $400 for this bad boy, because I think this is like $300 and some even off of discounted sites. But this is an incredible. Did you try Torino 22? Super glad that you asked. I've got Torino 21, 22, and 23. Actually, Torino 23 is my number one favorite, but I do love Torino 22. This is a fantastic summer. They're all obviously more geared towards summer type of a fragrance, but this one, they all perform extremely well. I'll put it to you like that. But 22 is fantastic. But if you get the chance, I think 23 is probably my overall favorite of the bunch. I like the bottle. Very classic. Kind of got a little 90s feel going on to it. They really took it back with that. But oh my God. I don't know how to explain this to you because this smells nostalgic in some strange way, but it just feels so good. I put this on and this performs like an absolute monster. All Zerjoffs perform like monsters, but in their own way, because certain note profiles can be very what I call sharp. I think in the fragrance industry, they also use that term sometimes for something that can be bad in a sharp way or good in a sharp way. And there's something in this baby, in Torino 23, that is super rich and comes through in a sweet, earthy, woodsy, fruity way. Not fruity like a watermelon or anything like that. It's kind of like honeydew or melon mixed in with that woodsy feel. Do you have I tried Zerjoff the Dawn? Actually, I haven't. That's on my list of things to try, but I haven't given it a shot just yet. Got the light blue O Intense. You got the big bottle. That's what I'm talking about. My buddy Redbeard got that big bottle of light blue. That's what I'm saying. The O Intense is my absolute Shazam, baby. I think it's a fantastic choice. But yeah, so as far as niche fragrances go, Zerjoff is always going to take the cake. Leilati, good. I think the bottle looks cool. You know something? Actually, even though I'm going to have to do a lot of squatting here in a second, I'm going to show you guys my favorite, not my favorite fragrances of Zerjoff, but one of my favorite family series of Zerjoff. I think it was called the, not Astrology, the Alchemy. I think it's the Alchemy, might have been the name of it. But they had like the coolest Zerjoff bottles, some of the coolest bottles of fragrances you've ever seen before. They did this whole line. And I bought most of them. Not all of them, but I got most of them. And I'm going to run you guys through those before I hop off here because it is getting time that I'm going to have to go meet with my mom for my birthday. But no, I haven't tried the Dawn. I look forward to doing that. As far as anything like Cedrat Bois Intense is 23. No, it isn't actually. I would say like the very base of the top notes, if that makes any sense. The very base of the top notes has a mild sweetness that maybe could mildly remind you of Cedrat Bois Intense, but it's still a whole different world, to be honest with you. This is also a fantastic fragrance. It has a chocolate note to it, not to be confused with Special Monkey. Special Monkey has that caramel type of feel to it, but if you can get your hands on more than words, this also is the key to longer lasting fragrance, more expensive. So first of all, spraying on the skin is always going to last less than on clothing for most fragrances. But I will say, honestly, people like me with eczema, I don't do the best maintaining fragrances in the first place. So I definitely prefer things that stick. Clothing will help last longer. But using moisturization like lotion, people always say helps stuff stick to the oil, stick to your skin, which is true. But definitely, you definitely don't need to buy expensive fragrances for them to last longer. But I will be completely honest with you. You are going to notice a major difference in a lot of people on TikTok. People who are sponsored by companies will very often try to tell people, buy cheap, buy these dupes, buy these dupes. They perform better than the original. This dupe performs better than the original. That's a lot of crap a lot of the time, just being really honest. Again, nobody sponsors me. Even if companies like Lattafa or whoever, which I have a bunch of Lattafas, but even if companies were to start hitting me up and say, hey, I'm going to send you free stuff instead of you buying them, it's not going to change the fact, and I'm going to tell them ahead of time. Again, the other day, just yesterday, I was getting emails about a sponsorship opportunity. I'm not going to say who because it's not worth the time. But not long after I did my video, or the original short that I did about this bad boy, I got my play button. I got an offer about a sponsorship opportunity from a company that is a real company. I talked with them, had a little FaceTime situation, and to be completely honest with you, I don't use their products. It wasn't a fragrance product, by the way. So in the fragrance world, you will also, if you are a content creator, get hit up about certain other products that are more towards like fitness and fashion and stuff like that. And when they see that you've got like mildly decent numbers, they will start asking you to promote their things. Well, I talked to this company and I don't use their stuff. And they were saying literally to me that they offered fantastic prices. I'm going to be very real with you guys. Thank you, Brunito, for the happy birthday. Not to be a pest, but is there anything in the realm of 23 that's affordable? Hey, that's no problem at all for saying that, Paul. Just a quick side note. I don't personally know of any fragrance. Like I haven't, there's probably dupes of 23 that's more in the affordable round, but I haven't tried any. And as always, I'm not going to suggest anything that I haven't tried personally. You got to be real about fragrances and not steer people in the wrong direction. See, that's what I'm saying. Again, thank you, Brunito, for the happy birthday. But dude, that's what makes me so upset in the fragrance community. Is like, you see all these? You want me to sit here and tell you that all these are incredible? They're not. All these fragrances that I got here, so most of the Zerjoffs, right? They're all incredible performers as far as Zerjoffs are concerned. Are they worth the price? Probably, for depending on what you're going for. But am I going to sit here and tell you that every one of these are my favorite profile? Absolutely not. There's a lot of these that I never wear because even though they're fantastically done, I don't like the notes. So they're not something I would wear. I love Naxos. I love 40 knots. But then if somebody asked me about this Special Monkey, that caramel type of feel to it, I don't like it. I like it on other people, but I would never go for it. So I'm going to be real with you on that front about stuff that I wouldn't personally wear to start with. Amouages. I love Amouage fragrances. There's a lot that I have, but Dia, I think that's what it is. Amouage Dia. This bad boy right here, Amouage Jubilation. This is like a super popular fragrance. I don't know if you guys have seen anything about it. But yeah, like I'm just now starting to let this grow on me that I would want to wear this on a normal basis because it has a little bit more of that undertone of oud that's done in a way that's not my favorite. This buddy here, Gavin, talked about Creed. I don't know if you're asking, do I have any? But just to throw this out there, Creed's another one of them companies where the only one I've got a full bottle of anymore. I literally gave away other Creeds. Is I've got Creed Silver Mountain Water, and that's just because I really love the smell. Sillage does a good job copying it, but I really love the Creed Silver Mountain Water original smell. It's a little bit more rich to me of the fragrance, but even then it performs like crap. So I'm not going to sit here ever and tell you that all these fragrances are really worth it or anything along those lines. I know that everybody has their own taste. Like my buddy Redbeard said, everybody's got their own preferences. So something that I might not like, you guys might love. But I just despise in the internet fragrance community that people just love to tell people over and over again, buy this, buy this. So that brings me back to the clone dupe type thing where there's a lot of clones and dupes that are great. But at the end of the day, there's also a lot of rich ones as well that aren't really worth the money because it's just, I don't know. Some of them are not made in a way that's truly like quality. So I don't like watching creators push stuff in your face and say, buy this, buy this, buy this. And yet it ends up being disappointing. I wouldn't want you to spend even $10 if you end up being disappointed on something, right? Could you PM me? I have a question for you. Not sure I could ask on live. Well, Zachary, find me on Instagram if you can, because it's the same exact name, Douglas Moon Fragrance. If you find me on Instagram, please go ahead and follow me. Again, today I'm going to be really busy. I will receive your messages. I just might not be able to get back to them. But you can ask me whatever you want. Like, I really don't care. You can ask me any question you want while I'm doing these live streams. The worst is when your fragrance is hyped up. It doesn't mean it's a great scent to begin with. You're absolutely right, Paul. And yeah, that 12-hour beast mode crap. Everybody's always saying that. I'm going to be real with you. There's not a single fragrance that I almost dropped it. There's not a single fragrance that I've come across other than like Sauvage Elixir, something like that, that is genuinely like a real, like over half a day, like real beast mode. Like if I say something's like a 12-hour beast mode, if you ever hear that come out of my mouth, that means that literally no matter who puts it on. Yeah, blooper. To me, a 12-hour beast mode would be like something that is magically like no matter who puts that bad boy on, it ain't going anywhere. It's going to come off of you multiple feet for like 2 days. Like if there was ever a fragrance that was really that strong, that would be wild. It'd be awesome. But I try to really like a lot of these really like super beast mode fragrances. And to be honest with you, none of them perform the way that some of these people want to claim that they do. Some of them perform insane. So like I said, Sauvage Elixir performs like a monster. And it will stick to clothing for days in some mild form or another. But there are just way too many creators out there who are trying to convince you guys that stuff is like, oh, this is going to never come off of your skin. And then you get it and you're like, what? So again, this Vulcan Few by French Avenue, incredible fragrance. I like it more than the original. But is this going to stick to your skin and radiate off of you into the atmosphere for 5 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours? No, it's going to be on your skin. It's going to smell nice. It's going to be like a nice little sillage. It's going to stick to you for a long time, but it isn't just blasting off of you. So people who tell you that kind of crap, they're just trying to get you to buy stuff because most likely they got it for free. So, and don't get me wrong, it's not just these cheaper fragrances either, because Zerjoffs, I know they send free stuff to some people. Amouage, I know for a fact, sends free things to some people. And Armani, I know there's some big creators whose names I won't name, but you might have already seen, are sponsored by some of these companies. So again, don't even let the niche companies fool you. Parfums de Marly, they send free stuff to plenty of creators. So even the higher price stuff, if you see somebody like, ooh, check it out, this is the best thing ever, you got to go buy it. You've got to really try to follow a person to see if they seem genuine and honest. Because even $400 or $500 perfumery companies are sending free stuff to certain creators if they've got a high enough number. And do you know why they do that? Creators like me who aren't getting free stuff, Oh, by the way, one more time, Zachary, please again, though, feel more than free to comment whatever you might want or need to here. You can ask me anything ever. It ain't going to offend me. And I'll answer whatever you need or want. But yeah, with that being said, yeah, so if you see me ever talk about something, again, I actually brain farted there for just a second because I got a message that made me want to laugh from one of my closest friends, but I actually can't say out loud what he said to me. I'm headed to work. Just wanted to say I've been collecting 2 years, watch content, and the best live stream I've watched. Well, Paul, thank you so much for saying that. That means the world to me. I really, truly cherish and appreciate everybody who stops by my page and watch my stuff. It means the absolute world to me, and I thank you guys with all my heart. But again, just want to say to you guys who do take the time to watch, I'm always going to keep it real with y'all and tell you if I think something's just not worth the money, because unfortunately, a lot of stuff is not worth the money like they make you want to think it is. But I do got to get off of here now because I am going to go and spend time with my mom, and then later on my wife gets off. I'm gonna pick her up and we're gonna have a beautiful time together for my birthday. So it has been really nice watching with you guys. Before you guys go, if any one of you guys could tell me, because I asked this like 5 times when I first started this stream, see you later, man, happy birthday, thank you so much, Zay. But I asked this and nobody actually answered me, so I just really want to know, does this new microphone sound okay? I got a new microphone set the other day, and I'm just trying to find out because they're like $30 more than the microphones I had before. And they also sit better. The ones I had before, I was always holding because they were sideways clutches. Mic sounds great. Bye, bro. Sorry, I wasn't live throughout the whole thing. Hey, totally fine with that, Sarthak. I just appreciate you being in here. I think it sounds good. Thank you, Zay, for letting me know that. As long as it sounds good enough that you guys can understand me and I don't sound like I'm talking through a wind tunnel, that's all that matters. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I appreciate you guys. God bless you guys so much. Thank you, Redbeard. I'm becoming an old man, just like, you're right. I'm getting old, dude. We dinosaurs got to stick together, one velociraptor at a time. Well, I don't know what kind of dinosaur you would want to be if you could be a dinosaur, but just assuming. Actually been a slight bit of static here and there. That's probably because of, honestly, I got this necklace back here and rubbing and stuff like that, and also rubbing against me. Still trying to figure out a good placement, but thank you for letting me know that. So as long as it sounds good for the most part, that's what works for me. Sounds great even when you're moving around. Well, either way, it's probably different for different people, but thank you, Paul, for letting me know. So yeah, like I said, I see people are buying like these like $150 microphones, which I know that they're worth it. Like some of them, depending on what brand, are definitely worth getting. But for me, I'm just still only investing little bits of amounts. As you see, most of my money goes into the actual fragrances. So I'm just trying to kind of take it a little easy on what I invest in this stuff. Happy birthday, the Fun First Family. That's a wonderful name. Does keeping cologne in the fridge help? By the way, just real quick before I go, thank you for the happy birthday. And I will say, yeah, the DJI mics. Yeah, those are like supposed to be really awesome. So if you're thinking about getting into content creation, those, from what I hear, are really good company. I'm going to upgrade to them at some point, but I'm kind of trying to wait because let me be completely frank with you guys. So I'm still not really getting paid hardly nothing from YouTube. Just being completely straight with y'all. So again, not only am I not sponsored by any of these companies, when I tell you what I think about these fragrances, I'm being very honest with you, being completely sincere. But me doing these live streams has been extremely helpful for me to continue to grow my hours, to continue to grow my views more than most of the other videos do. Because just a side note to the buddy who was talking about microphone, putting stuff into the refrigerator. I've never done that. Do you have a way to email or PM you? You can. So I have a question about purchase. I can't ask on here most likely. Okay, that's totally fine. Zachary, again, if you can, go to my Instagram. If you have that, it's Douglas Moon Fragrance. If you don't have Instagram, look on my page. If you don't know how to do it, I'll actually try to show you guys real quick how to do this. So if anybody ever wants to seriously email me about something important, you can go to my page. If you're looking at my page like this, if you're looking at my YouTube like this, click right here, dink, and it'll show you right around, well, I guess it's not. Yes, it is. It'll show you for like contacts and business inquiries, Andrew Lane Fragrance at gmail.com. If you guys ever want to email me if you need anything, or if you have Instagram, I prefer that. So go to Douglas Moon Fragrance at Instagram, or I'm doing a TikTok thing these days, even though obviously I'm getting old. I'm doing that because apparently a lot of people like watching this stuff on TikTok. So, and honestly, since I can do over there what I'm trying to do here, which is to be honest with you guys and tell you is something really worth it or not. But regardless, It's better to keep my fragrances in my closet. See, that's what I do. I keep my fragrances here in the closet because it seems to do pretty well for me. So, and it stays dark in here. But yeah, dude, ask me whatever you need to. Ask me whatever you feel comfortable asking. I'll answer in any way that I possibly can. But I really do thank you guys so much for having taken the time to watch my videos. It has meant the world to me for you guys being here. And like I said, just to polish this off, got my YouTube silver play button. Super proud of it. Very happy to have it. But again, I'm doing this because I love it. I love collecting fragrances. I love talking with you guys. So these live streams are basically my absolute favorite thing to do every week. And I'm going to keep doing them on a regular basis. Like, it definitely, like I said, at least every Wednesday. I'm actually planning to do something that might sound a little crazy to you guys, but sometime in the next couple of weeks, because these really help me with like watch hours, with views and all that stuff. And it actually, unlike YouTube Shorts, it counts towards like helping you continue to gain so you can actually earn. I'm planning to do something maybe in the next month or two. On a random Wednesday, I'm going to get up super early, get started, and see if I can do like a full 6-hour stream and see how that goes. Thank you to my buddy over here, Sammy. You don't have to apologize for coming here later. Like I said to everybody who's watching, I'm going to be getting off of here in just a few minutes anyways. I'll answer a few last-minute questions if you guys have them. But yeah, like I said, you guys coming through here and becoming a part of the Douglas Moon family. Honestly, even though this is going to sound a little corny, if you guys just for fun would like to come up with some type of name, we can like, yeah, because like I know Aaron Terrence Hughes calls his fans or his people or his followers his unicorns or whatever. So if you guys want to be called something just for fun, give me something. Make some suggestions. As corny as that might sound. Today's my B-Day. Can you say my name 3 times, please? So just so I want to make sure I'm saying this right. Is it Nurarfa? Nurarfa? Am I saying that properly? If I am saying that properly, I will say that for you 3 times. If anybody ever wants me to do anything, that's fine with me. I don't mind whatsoever. But if I said Nurarfa properly, hopefully I did. Then there you go. But yeah, just throwing this out there. Yes, good job, Narafa. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. It's amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate you for being here. And Sammy, again, no need to apologize. I'm just glad you're here, my friend. Like I said, I celebrated my birthday, celebrated my silver play button, but just throwing this out there. While I go away, if you guys want to give me a nice gift, I'm a girl. Sorry, Narafa. I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I don't properly know like everybody from every place and how to say everything all the time or like understand stuff. So I'm trying, but I'm sorry for calling you anything that's opposite of what you are. So thank you for being here, and I'm glad to have you here, buddy. Man, woman, whoever, everybody's always welcome to watch my videos and to talk with me and be here. Can you give me a perfume, please? That I cannot do, mostly because I don't really have the ability to ship them and stuff like that. And like, other than me doing these little streams when I got the time, things are super busy. Also, though, like I said, I'm not sponsored, so I paid for all these. So my wife, even the cheapest fragrances, my wife is very unhappy with the idea of me giving stuff away for free unless it's to friends and family as like gifts or something like that, people that like we know personally. So again, if I start getting free fragrances and they're actually worth giving away, if I start getting free fragrances and they're not worth it, I'm still not going to give those away to people because I feel like that's disrespectful. But can I see your wife? If she was here, I would love to show you. I have a picture of her. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this very well. She wants to be in a video. This is her, if you guys can see. I don't know if you guys can actually see the picture. Hopefully you can. Hopefully it's not like improperly illuminated. But yeah, she wants to be on videos and stuff. I tried to get her to do a stream with me, but she's a little camera shy. So she used to do like the ghost hunting videos with me on our other family channel. If you guys ever want to go check that kind of stuff out. But doing this fragrance stuff, since I got like a much larger audience and everything and random people come through, she's a little shy about that, but she does want to start doing videos with me. Both think she's so pretty. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you, Narafa, for saying that. To me, my wife is the most beautiful person in the world. Obviously, she's not going to be that way to you guys because everybody like sees people how they do. But my wife's my best friend, and she's the most beautiful person I've ever seen, and I love her with all my heart. So definitely, like, I love giving her fragrances, and she doesn't have the biggest collection because she likes to just stay more specific, but she looks like a winner, man. She certainly is. And at Roja Elysium, oh man, you know what? I would love to do that. I haven't even like purchased a bottle myself of Roja Elysium. I would like to. I like watching Fragmental. If you guys know who he is, he has a lot of Roja perfumes on his stuff all the time. So I'd like to actually check some of those out. But my wife, like, she's really fun going through fragrances with, because first of all, I don't know what ingredient it is. Maybe it's just the alcohol that they use in perfumers alcohol. But my wife starts sneezing after she smells almost any fragrance. As soon as you spray it on, she starts sneezing almost right away. And it takes her a second. So that's, I don't like her discomfort, but it's kind of funny. But she's very, very particular about what kind of fragrances that she actually likes. What is your opinion on soup? Oh, heck no. Yeah, you almost got me there. Yeah, if you guys didn't know that I like reading these things out loud before I say them. But that has to be the greatest comment that I've ever had come my way. I'm eating a juicy watermelon. Well, I hope you enjoy that juicy watermelon. But Meridan over here, I hope I said your name properly. I don't know if you almost got me there. And that would have, if I had done that, you guys could have like screen recorded that somehow or another, and I would have never been able to live that down. This teaches me today, say what? Multiple times as fast as you can. I don't know if that's also a fragrance, a word trick. So, Gani. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? That might also be one of those tricks. So, just letting you guys know, I'm going to stay on my game. So, if you guys ever try to get me to say something like crazy or like inappropriate or whatever, I'm watching you guys and you're not going to get me. But that was super smooth. The way you commented that, I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to use that now to some other friends of mine, like later today. Like I might type it in the thing and be like, hey, can you say this out loud? I'm not going to be saying anybody, tomorrow when I get to work. So there's a friend of mine named Sam. He's one of my closest buddies who we talk about fragrances with. And just to throw this out there, he likes to, mostly prefers dating ladies of the opposite race while he himself is white. And our other buddy, Jonte, is always trying to get him to say certain words. And so if I can pull that up in front of him and say, hey, can you say this out real? Can you pronounce this fragrance and tell me what you think about this? I would love to see if he actually follows through with it. Can I tell you a joke? I actually, off the top of my head, don't know any really good ones. I know some stupid ones, but I don't know any really good ones. Let me look up, since I am a dad and I'm old. Let me tell you guys before I go, this is really stupid, but let me tell you guys a couple of dad jokes. Let's see if there's any ones that are actually good. So this says from a website, 145 best dad jokes. Let's actually test a couple out and see if they're any good. So, I'm afraid for the calendar, its days are numbered. All right, so we're starting off like this. Bro, look up the video of the young kid at the spelling bee. I've actually seen that. That's really funny. Thank you, Beto Zamudio, for the happy birthday. Thank you very much. Right now, before I go, we're just reading a couple of these silly dad jokes since I just turned 32. And I'm a dad. It says, my wife said I should do lunges to stay in shape. That would be a big step forward. So I don't know if a lot of you guys are going to understand these. Especially, I don't know if English is your first language or not. That was actually pretty good. I like that one. Why do fathers take an extra pair of socks when they go golfing? In case they get a hole in one. Okay, that was fantastic. I like that. Look at the video. Yeah, so I actually like that. I'm going to read a couple more of these jokes before I go. I know I'm losing viewers right now by doing this, but I don't really care. I had my two boys around when I turned 30. Hey, nothing wrong with that. You're a kind-hearted person. I appreciate you. Well, thank you, Notify. I will always say, if anybody ever wants me to try to say your name or whatever, we're going to have fun. Crack jokes. It says, what do a tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common? They're both Paris sites. Okay, that was a doofy joke. Trying to get my man canceled. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, he tried to get me with that one. I like that, though. You know what, though? Even if I had said it, even if I had gotten, said it and didn't read it ahead of time and, kind of process what they were trying to get me to say, ain't nobody canceling me. I'm not big enough to cancel just yet. And if anything, I'd be like, you know what? It's one of my favorite fragrances. Are you serious? You've never heard of it before? Well, maybe you should look it up. So if anybody ever tries to get me to say anything, I'm still going to keep going. Let's see. I got a couple more of these doofy jokes before I go. What do you call a fish wearing a bow tie? Oh, this one's really stupid. It says, what do you call a fish wearing a bow tie? Sophisticated. All right. The first ones were fun, but that last one was just kind of whatever. How do you follow Will Smith in the snow? You follow the Fresh Prince. Okay. All right. I'm done with this. This was... we were getting somewhere, but then after that, they kind of lost me because it just got a little too silly for me. But anyway... I appreciate you guys so much for having come through. You're my favorite YouTuber. That means the whole world to me. To even be a YouTuber, to be able to show like my collection, to be able to answer you guys' questions about fragrances, to have my silver plaque. Like I said, this is super bittersweet for me because I love seeing this. I love that. First of all, anybody who didn't hear me earlier, it got damaged through the shipping process or through UPS or something like that. So kind of makes me a bit frustrated. Allow me to show you guys, if I can, what I'm talking about. You see these dents right here? See right there? Yeah, that sucks. But at the end of the day, it's still cool because it's got my name on it. Douglas Moon Fragrance. I don't know if can you guys even see that? It's hard to tell with the lighting, but either way, got my name on it, Douglas Moon Fragrance. The piece of paper that came with it from the CEO of YouTube, that was really cool. Have a good day, JJ, when you get a chance, UPM. Hey, super happy to see you though. Super grateful. Maybe flex your biceps. Okay. I don't really have big arms. I haven't worked out in a long time. But I would love to meet Aaron Terrence Hughes. If he ever somehow comes across, you know what? I'm going to ask something of you guys. And I might never ask you guys to do anything again. So I'm just going to do this real quick. Anybody who watches and who actually really loves my stuff, if you ever get a chance, I know this is going to be super lame and cringy of me to do, but if you go to Aaron Terrence Hughes' videos and you watch him at all, if you ever feel like it, I would love for you guys to comment about me, the Douglas Moon Fragrance channel, and just don't spam him or nothing, but just maybe suggest like reaching out to me or something and doing some type of collaboration or something one day, or it's the same thing to Fragmental or something. That'd be pretty neat. But again, my views are not nearly high enough to deserve to meet with those guys or anything like that. So I'd love to meet them. They're the people I look up to the most. But yeah, so thank you guys so much. I'm thinking of streaming Call of Duty games, probably maybe need some pointers in starting. I was trying out fragrances, but it fell through. Well, to be honest with you, just do what I started doing. Set yourself up a good spot. If you got one of those cameras on yourself, you probably do, and you got a decent enough microphone, I 100% you think he would be honored by it. I doubt that, dude. I appreciate you so much, JJ, for saying that. But like I said, I ain't nobody. Like, I'm somebody to my friends and family, but like, as far as all things are considered, like in the fragrance community and stuff, as you guys see, dude, my real reviews videos have like tanked hard. Like I said, after I tried that YouTube promote thing, I know I've talked about it a lot, so everybody probably cares about hearing it. But after I tried that YouTube promote thing off through my videos, they literally have been punishing the crap out of me. Like, I kid you not, instead of gaining subscribers like I was, I still have been gaining them. But then the other day, I lost like 70 in a day. Like, ever since I used that crap, they've been punishing me, dude. So literally after I got this, and after I was like, hey, let me try this promotion feature you guys keep emailing me about. No joke, as a YouTube creator, YouTube was literally emailing me like every other day. People from the ads team were emailing me like, try out this. You should try this. It'll help grow your channel. It'll help grow your channel. So I literally was like, okay, 5 videos, boom. Let's spend like $20 or so, like $10, $20 a piece on these, see how they do. Lo and behold, they absolutely did not do good for the entire time that they were operating. And then as soon as they stopped floating around, all of a sudden, whooped, no more videos of mine get views like they were doing before. So I keep telling people, if you are a young channel and starting out, please, for the love of God, don't use the ads feature. I don't care if you've got like 500,000 subscribers. Don't use the ads feature. You want to know why? Because on these sites, when they offer you promotions and ads, guess what they want you to do? They want you to keep spending money after that. Once they know you'll do it, they want you to keep spending money to see if it'll help you get more views and all that crap. So please don't do it. But like I said, definitely will. Personally, I think Aaron would be honored. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the same thing. To my buddy Redbeard, thinking about doing streaming and stuff, please go for it, dude. I highly encourage you to do so. You'll probably have a lot of fun doing that. If any of you guys, by the way, I think they try and punish people doing that. They do. They encourage you to promote your stuff, then you promote it, and then they punish you for it. So it's the craziest thing in the world. Like, why even offer it? Doesn't make any sense to me personally. But it's almost like a trick in a way, either for them to make more money or for them to kind of trick people to see like, hey, will you do it? Because like I said, they were literally flooding me with emails from their ads team to like promote my stuff. It'll help you. It'll help you grow your channel. And then it killed so much for me. But that's okay. Because you know what? It encouraged me to start doing this. It encouraged me to start doing these live streams. So I've been getting to meet with you guys. And like I said, super proud to have this, even though it's freaking damaged. Super proud to have this. I went ahead and oversprayed Supremacy. Not only well, you know what? I hope that they enjoy it. If you want it, my battery's getting low. if you wanted to, how would I get started working in a fragrance place? I don't know how you can start getting working in a fragrance place, because if you talk, like, depends what you mean by that. You could always go to like your nearest mall, Nordstrom or something like that, and try to take on a position doing something that involves working in the fragrance department. It's not going to pay the most money in the world, but it would be a good start to get yourself doing that. You might even get some discounts and stuff. Other than that, though, there's not really a lot of opportunities to get into the fragrance world and then working in a fragrance department at some store like a Saks Fifth Avenue or a Nordstrom or something. To my buddy Paul, try to take it easy on the supremacy from now on, so that way you don't end up like choking half to death on that stuff. But thank you guys so much for watching. To anybody who's just dropping through, this is my collection. I got my silver play button again, although unfortunately it's freaking damaged. But for anybody who's coming through here and wants to check out more of my stuff, wants to ask me questions, I'm about to hop off here and go meet with my mom. I'm actually like an hour late now, but I really appreciate you guys checking out my videos. I appreciate you guys asking about my collection. I will answer 1 to 5 more questions if you guys can drop them within the next 5 minutes, I guess. I'll try to run the clock out to 2 hours. So we're 6 minutes to 4, 5 minutes to 2 hours. So I'll see if I can stretch it just a little bit longer. As a matter of fact, let me voice message my mom real fast while we're doing this. You guys think up some questions if you can. Actually, I'm going to send a few things to people. Thank you so much, brother, for the happy birthday. I love you. I hope you and your wife are doing great. I'm literally live streaming right now on my YouTube channel, and I wanted to message back a couple people. So thank you so much for sending me that chance, and I hope you're doing awesome. Let's see. I'm going to send back to my wife as well. Actually, that's a good one. I miss you too, my baby. I'm actually live streaming right now on my YouTube, and a few people had asked me earlier, dude, get your butt to your mom. You're right. Sorry, I'm reading the comments, but this is my wife right now. I'm sending a message to, but I'm doing a live stream right now. But a few people asked me earlier to show you, or why don't you get on the camera? So I just wanted to message you and tell you how much I love you. I can't wait to pick you up later. And also, I definitely want you to know people do want to see you. So the next chance we get, we're going to get you on here, but I love you. But anyway, yeah, all right, I was literally going to message my mom, but she will kick my butt if I don't get there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time, and I appreciate you with all my heart. So peace out, you guys. Cha, cha, cha.